Going live. You're live.
What to do? What to
Yay.
do? What to do? To I'm making sure we're actually live before I go and give a full-on intro. I don't see it yet. I'm waiting. Probably on a delay. Hopefully.
Might be.
I'm still not seeing it. Refresh. Refresh. Refresh.
There it
Haven't
goes.
You got it?
Yep.
What's
So-
going on, YouTube? Welcome back from the commercial if you watched it. I really appreciate everybody that's here. And welcome to our Thursday live stream. We're going to be doing a body cam breakdown as well as talking about news and events that are law enforcement related. This week's probably going to be a smidge frustrating because I'm already starting to look at what's on the screen, as Bill has tirelessly curated this week's worth of content for us to go over. As always, we try to keep up with the comments. If you have questions and we have time to answer them, we will try to. And if you're watching this and you like police-related content, that we support good police, not just any police, but good police, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and drop a like or a comment on this video if there's other stuff that you guys want us to go over. And if you want to contribute more to the stuff that we do and end up doing while we're live, you can join our Discord. And to join our Discord, you'll have to join our Patreon group for as little as $1 a month. And that'll get you access to all the things that make the Only Cops Go Wild. I want to thank our Patreon supporters, one of which is currently here with us. Sean the
Howdy.
Sheriff. He's not actually a sheriff, but we're saying what's up to Sean. He's our resident
could be.
supervisor. He could be. I'm still not seeing it on my end. that it's live,
2024.
but I'm sure I trust Sean.
It's live on my end.
But either way, I appreciate everybody in our Patreon group. They've really made this whole adventure really, really awesome. I'm going to get the feed up on my end, and I will hand this over to Bill. If you want to go ahead and get us working on this while I wait to see why my thing won't show us as live. Oh, there it is. I see it now.
Are you ready?
Oh. Yes, I'm ready.
So I will say, as good of training as we got, I wish we could have done stuff like this.
Shout out to that Caprice right there. Is this Sims? Or
Yeah,
Sim rounds?
they're
It's
Sim
not pretty
rounds.
quiet. And are really good suppressors.
Yeah, they're sim rounds. But
I was going to say, going through this exercise of making your body physically get out and do these types of things, is
Yeah.
it the same as doing it in real life? No. But as someone that experienced formal training and doing dangerous things, these reps do matter.
Oh, yeah.
Tap, rack, bang, or moving when you're reloading as
Yeah.
opposed to just standing there like a dillweed. Doing force on force where you're like trying to expose as little of your body as possible because sim rounds hurt.
yeah,
Like
a
getting
bitch.
shot probably hurts, you know. But at the end of the day, like it matters, and I think that even if it's just a matter of going through the reps, like again here they're not actually shooting real firearms here, but they're
yeah, because
there's
whoever's
Yeah,
forward edge that is, they didn't want
they're
the
like-
doors to get shot.
Yeah, I'm impressed. They're probably the blanks as opposed to just like the actual simunitions. They're like the
Yeah.
blanks that just cycle your gun.
Yeah,
But it's good practice. I think this stuff matters. It's kind of why you'll notice that you'll see police officers that they all say, "Show me your hands," or "Stop reaching," or "Hands up," or whatever. That's a practiced thing. They didn't just think in the moment to do that. And it's apparent when they've never gone through the motions of actually doing dangerous things in training, that you resort back to the highest level of training when you're under stress. And it's very apparent when you have guys that have never gone through empty hand training or critical incident training. Or
you
any of
don't
that
want
kind
your
of
first
stuff.
shooting out of a car to be a real one.
Yeah.
You'd rather
Yeah.
it be this one.
So reps are really good. I like seeing stuff like, because it's not technically they could have done this in a parking lot. As long as they were losing like blue guns or stuff like
Yeah.
that, or you could have done this in a safe location. Obviously, they're being adults and responsible people and doing it at a gun range. But
It is
I think
cool
this
that they're getting the actual feel from the gun too.
Yeah,
Like
that's what I'm getting
the
at.
blue gun is one thing, like
Yeah.
it does its job, I guess. But
this is
Fucking hate
important.
training with blue guns.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it feels kind of stupid, but
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea. I'm happy to see more people doing this. Shout out! I believe we got this from our Patreon group here.
We got this from Sean directly
I
to
know,
me.
I know. Yeah.
Sean
we
sent
did.
it directly to me. He slid in my DMs.
Shout out again to our Patreon group.
So
You can slide
do you
into our
wanna
DMs that way.
do you want to explain this, Sean?
Sean, give it to us.
Oh shit. Okay, so it started in Volusia County. They got a call from someone out of state saying that she was on the phone with her husband, the suspect's dad, because the suspect's dad traveled down to Florida to check on the 18-year-old guy. So she was on the phone with dad, heard a gunshot, the phone went dark. So they were hauling, like Volusia County was hauling ass, and the suspect passed them in a truck. And they turned around, lit him up, he ran. They didn't have charges, so they couldn't chase. They didn't have any charges.
Yeah, they hadn't gone and done the welfare check yet.
So they lost him. Obviously, they put out APB for the car and his general description. But they went to the residence and saw blood, but no dad. So
not a great sign.
Yeah. So they started searching. Yeah, they started searching everywhere, and apparently this guy was found in, it's like south east Lake County, Mount Dora. So they lit him up. Lake County lit him up, and he ran. And then and just an update, they found a body who they believe to be the dad was dead in a river. So they haven't.
I'm Lake County Sheriff Peyton Grinnell. Recently, we released law enforcement vehicle dash
really like
camera
the green, dude.
and body camera recorded
nice.
Videos to our local media
like
outlets
showing
the brave and heroic efforts
That's
of
Sheriff
deputies
Green in Florida
and police officers apprehending an armed individual suspected of homicide in Volusia County. When the video footage was aired on the different news stations, a few of the news stations, whether intentional or not, omitted or inaccurately narrated what was actually happening in the video.
Surprise!
So to make sure the citizens
said no
we
one
proudly
here in the
serve
stream
have the rest of the story,
Channel
I'm
9.
providing you the same video released to the media outlets. My social media team has added notations in key frames of the video clearly showing the suspect
Josh, who does
shooting
he
at law
remind you of?
enforcement from a moving vehicle on a busy road in a downtown area.
There's two people
as well
in
as a
particular.
suspect
Willie.
pointed his
He
handgun
reminds me of Willie.
at the
He
deputy
reminds me
who
a lot
used
of
his
Willie.
truck to immobilize
He was
the
a good guy.
suspect's vehicle.
Yeah.
He wasn't my favorite,
deputy
but he's a
stayed
good
in the
guy.
fight
I
with this
didn't
armed
regret
individual
working for the dude.
to ensure
I think he
was
was
taken off the
the
street.
best option we
The
worked
quick
with.
life-saving measures,
That's
such as
for
the
damn
application of tourniquets and pressure bandages applied by law enforcement officers after the suspect throws his gun out of the vehicle, may have helped save his life. The overwhelming majority of all Lake County citizens
That's too
support
bad.
these men and women that put
Yeah,
on the bulletproof
unfortunately.
vests
I agree.
and risk their lives every day.
Also,
And
his
for that,
reaction
I say
to
thank you.
being injured,
Viewer
for
discretion
trying to
is
kill
advised.
officers, tells you everything you know about this guy. What a stud muffin. Look at that radio traffic.
Hey, I'd just like to give a big shout out to Axon first off, and their 720p recording capabilities in this car here. It's fantastic. Fantastic.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Ooh,
Shots fired, Lake! Shots fired!
that'll get your blood pumping a little bit.
I'm coming traffic in the opposite lane. Crossing back over. Headed toward downtown.
It's a sketchy road to be pursuing on too.
So I'm pretty sure the dude that's driving is in a fucking Silverado.
Eagle 1, be quiet. Hold on. Lake shots
No
fired.
way.
He shot fired.
This patrol
Yeah,
vehicle?
he's leading a pursuit in Silverado.
What a wild man.
Good for him.
Is he a deputy?
Yeah. This guy's a city guy that just pulled out in front of him.
He was shooting at me in front of the cemetery. We're still southbound coming up towards downtown Mount Dora. It's a
Dude,
white
these
male,
green lights
looked
are
like a black handgun.
blessings, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
Signal 4, signal 4.
Ooh.
that's a write up.
Not in my county.
It's a brand new F-150.
Fuck that.
So
dude.
did that Explorer tag this guy? It looked
Yeah.
like when he was going this way, the Explorer.
Yeah, the Explorer got him.
Good for him to still make it in there like that. Hell yeah.
Dude.
That dude has
He's
balls
getting
of
shot at
steel.
from this way, too.
So you see that optic
Oh,
and the
yeah.
light?
Yeah.
Standard
Hey,
issue
shout out-
for all deputies.
Shout out to having a closed emitter red dot too.
Dude, that was not a easy crash either.
Oh no, he's got an armor. Never mind.
That's standard issue for every deputy.
Damn. Tactical reload, but good for him.
I think he had a malfunction.
Oh, he
Yeah,
might.
he just dumped it. He just dumped the mag.
Oof.
Oof.
That was, dude, that was a rough crash.
Dude, zero hesitation by this secondary guy here. The guy going behind the truck,
Yeah.
zero hesitation.
You hear his dog whining?
Yeah.
He's like, I want to bite.
Also, shout out for not taking your damn dog out.
Yeah.
No, this is not an appropriate situation for canine.
Yeah.
Jesus, dude.
Did you hear that muscle memory? Let me see your fucking hands.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm amazed this guy walked away from it. Given the number of rounds that went through this truck.
Yeah, dude crashed into a synagogue. What a dick.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. It's a fucking synagogue.
Nah, bro, you ain't getting my tourniquet. Sorry.
I'm bleeding out.
Not
Fuck
that
you,
one.
dude.
I'll give you that rubber bandy one.
The one they used to put in our vest.
Yeah. I'll give you that one. You ain't getting my cat tourniquet, dude.
Shout out to these guys for doing the right thing and trying to save this guy's life. 'Cause I'm gonna be honest. Now that I'm a civilian,
Yeah.
You're not gonna die. You're not gonna die.
the hell no, you're going to jail.
Taper wrap.
Yeah, in the county jail that he's going to.
I would just like to point out, old boy is jacked.
Yeah. Look
You
at this
don't-
vein, dude.
You don't get veins that look like this by accident. Those aren't skinny veins either.
What we got here in his neck? That's coming from his chin. He's fine now. Can you wipe it clean? Wipe his neck clean. Open up those gauze pads for me. You're okay. We're
Leave it.
okay.
Hey, leave.
Can you guys just make sure that's the gun that he exited and tossed? Make sure that doesn't walk away. There's also a 38 in the floorboard right there where his clothes are at.
Damn.
Pretty bad call,
I might have
dude.
gone through and through.
Jeez.
Hey, can we check him one
So
more
what, he
Fuck
killed
this
his
guy.
dad or whatever?
Anything went through
Yeah.
and through. Roll towards me.
That's
It
what-
seems like it.
Yeah.
Okay, two here.
And he ran and shot.
One in the
What a
leg,
fucking
one in
crazy
the ass,
bastard, dude.
and maybe glass, shrapnel, anything chunks in the chin and one in the back.
Fucking Chris.
All I do is just try to pack
Chris said Flintstones bad.
I'm Lake
Like,
County
That's my,
Sheriff.
that's my favorite comment.
If you're gonna do this shit, bro, like stay out of my county.
Oh, 100%. Dude. When like there's a we talked about this I think last week where we talked about having to use force and living in an environment where using force, and I'm just saying in general, if you grew up in like there are gangbangers that grew up in like the south side of Chicago that have gotten into a lot of fights and have lost friends and stuff like that. The way you approach these types of situations is very different than the vast majority of the American population that just simply does not experience this level of violence. Until it's been your ass or someone you cared about's ass that's been on the front lines for this stuff, you're this, and we'll say it. I'm gonna tattoo this somewhere on my. The second you stop valuing life, I don't know how you expect anyone else to value yours. To be 100% honest, he didn't care if one of those stray rounds went and skipped off and hit, little Susie Lou down the street. He didn't care about the accident. He goes and slams, into a synagogue. and then he immediately shoots at the officers that are trying to apprehend. They didn't shoot him first.
Imagine if there was people in there.
Rounds. Yeah.
He went into that. He went into that wall, dude. Like,
yeah.
And then he bitched about bleeding out. Like, screw you, dude.
Yeah. Anyways,
how old was he?
18.
Interesting.
Wow. Anyways, stuff like that happens. Shout out to those officers. I don't know how you could have done that better, to be honest. I think it's just a lot outside of taking him into custody. I'll go ahead and give you a pee-pee whack for that. But I appreciate the professionalism these guys showcased. I think it says a lot that they were that quickly able to go from pursuit to officer-involved shooting to life-saving stuff. And they did it fast. There was no, like, if anything, there was like a fight to go hands-on, which is very rare to see a lot of times. But they were all collectively, and this was more than one agency, right?
Yeah, it was 2 agencies.
Yeah.
But they all collectively collapsed in this event. Like, there was zero hesitation from everybody that was there. Everyone kind of knew what they did. They're not all receiving the same radio traffic a lot of times, or they're getting it delayed or whatever it is, or they're having to go to some like ghetto third channel to get like interagency radio traffic.
Well, no, county will patch. If you're different and there's an incident, they'll patch you into whatever. So everybody's hearing the same shit.
They did that for us a few times, but it was
an act of God. Yeah.
But shout out to them.
Yep. Chris. Y'all kill me. Shout out to Sergeant George, my guy. It's good to see you. Shout out to Police Law News. Go follow him on stuff. He's a good guy. We're gonna see what he shared here.
Maybe old Boomer will join us on Discord one of these days.
Yeah, maybe one day you'll figure this out. A stabbing call in New York.
Well, guns aren't legal there.
Chopper.
What's up?
He assaulted me. It's trespassing my property.
Okay, where's the knife?
I can't give you that.
Okay, I need you to take it out of your pocket and give it to me. Take the knife out of your pocket. Yeah.
What an asshole.
Oh boy. Yeah.
She walks away from this?
They said that she's lucky to be alive.
Jesus, dude.
So.
Did he walk away?
He was fatally shot.
Good.
And again, and for those of you that are not normally, you're new to the show here. The reason we get really frustrated here is she's literally here effectively doing a welfare check on everyone that's there first. That's law enforcement's primary objective, is they go there and they figure out who needs help, who needs the police right now, so I can secure the scene and get EMS because it's a stabbing call, right? But scene security is your only real job there, and so you figure out who's doing the stabbing and why. He felt that stabbing someone was an appropriate thing to do. Now, he could have also faked the knife. If he had just stabbed at somebody or gotten a fight, there'd be more people involved. It looked like people were casually walking in and out of the store, which is New York, so maybe they're used to this. But I bet you he probably called a 911 call on himself to get officers to respond. And notice he kind of waited. This is the predatory, weird, shitty behavior that you get trained to look for. But he waited for her to close the gap until he went and drew his knife to go and try to stay. He was trying to kill her. He didn't really have any other objective other than trying to kill her, or it's suicide by cop. And in that instance, like I said, and this sounds callous from the outside in, we were very heavily trained as far as police officers were concerned with MHMR stuff, which is mental health resources. We have MHPOs, with mental health peace officers, that they were specifically, it was like a long school that they had to go to get this certification. We had social workers, we had all that stuff. We had victims assistants. We tried so hard to provide services, and there was a lot of people that benefited from them. But then there's people doing this bullshit. And I'm going to be 100% honest. I've suffered from mental health issues. I know, most of the police officers that I've talked to have. Most of us know somebody that has. If you went to college or high school, you know somebody that has struggled with some level of mental health issue. And they're not doing this bullshit. they're going and they're calling the mental hotline, or they're going to their local church, or they're going to their friends groups. At least if they're a raging alcoholic, at least they're doing that by themselves and not hurting anybody else. This kind of bullshit, I have very little sympathy for people like that. Let me see what I can do for my phone. Oh, what's going on? Chris the Cop is checking us out in the comments here. We'll see if he can pop on here in a little bit. Anyways, I this is the reason why we might sound a little callous towards old boy here. Is just I feel for him from a mental health standpoint? Yes. But if that's what's going to be your reaction to having a mental health crisis, I stop feeling sorry for you, because again, you stop valuing human life. Let's see. I'm making sure that I am addressing everything here. Somebody asked me something. Knife crime is probably the closest someone will get just losing it and start swinging on everybody. We have a solution for that here in America.
Or you can make a homemade shotgun with a bunch of electrical tape and pipes and kill a former, I don't know what that guy was.
Yeah.
In
Prime
Japan.
Minister.
Was he a prime minister?
Or a president. I mean, he's all the same shit.
Yeah. Whatever he was in Japan, he's dead from a
puppet.
homemade shotgun. So.
Raging alcoholics don't just hurt themselves. You're right. Blank, you're 100% right, but...
Bitch, you don't even remember, you don't even know who this is. This Kane, bitch. Oh, God, I bet I ain't see your ass. Oh, God.
Dumbass.
I picked the wrong house, my dude.
This is a home invasion. 3 men home invaded a house on Pinestead. There was a single person inside that house. Of the 3 people, one had a handgun, pulled a handgun from his waistband, and the other 2 were shoving the victim in his house. The victim had a handgun that he was hiding. That handgun slipped out and fell to the ground. One of the 3 felons picked up that handgun. So now 2 of the 3 have handguns on the victim, and they're in his house. The victim runs to a back room where he had a 3rd gun. He picked up that gun, an AK-47 style gun, and he started shooting for his own protection to get them out of his house and to protect himself. So those of you who might ask a question, is the homeowner going to be charged for shooting at these people? Absolutely not. The homeowner is protecting himself, and in Florida, in Escambia County, you can protect yourself.
I've worked...
Stand your ground.
3 of these, I think, at our old city. Don't do that. Let me just look. I don't understand. Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was the person apparently that got shot. Honestly, congrats to being able to make a shotgun, Caden. Jesus.
Yeah, congrats on that false sense of security by banning all guns, so you have shitty Secret Service around you who don't pay attention behind you and let someone sneak up on you with a homemade gun and assassinate a former prime minister. Congrats, dude. Caden, your comments are something else.
So I saw this, and I have mixed feelings about this specific situation, to be honest.
Well, wait till you see the video. Yeah, so.
Because I have... Because I'm trying to think of what... so for those of you that don't know, this is the Uvalde situation. We got more... I'm sure the internet's afire with all of this kind of stuff.
So these 2 dudes were just going to see if oh boy needed help.
This is old boy, correct?
Yep. It looks like he's wearing a Like a dirt bike chest protector almost.
Yeah. So he only goes into this room, correct? This one.
I think so. I think they're like adjacent classrooms.
Something fishy about this.
110%.
So this is 3 minutes in, which is actually an appropriate amount of time. This makes sense, given.
These 3 officers are pussies.
So that's old boy.
Yeah.
Whose wife texted him that she's shot and dying. And you're telling me that you're going to stand here at a corner as you hear more shots ring off in your wife's classroom?
So
There's something weird.
Like, I don't know. It's a weird. The way that the initial story went out, apparently, and not to dunk on just this individual here, but that he had to be drugged away from this specific.
Yeah, they said he tried to rush the classroom and they had to take his gun and drag him away.
Well, this is clearly not the case here. The other thing, and honestly, the response for the officers outside of the school made a ton of sense now that I know how many officers are already in it. Like, hey, dude, like let the cops do their job. Yeah. That makes sense, to be honest. Like, if I'm the 18th officer on scene, right? Like, I already know that there's guys on scene. I already know that they hear shots or whatever.
Yeah.
Unless they tell me otherwise, if I'm told to make a perimeter, that kind of makes sense. And yes, I'm going to threaten parents that are trying to get in on there. That all doesn't bother me, right? But like, if they had officers on scene within 3 minutes, like, how many cops does it take to like unfuck a situation like this? You know what I mean? Like, you're in the hall. This guy's less than probably 20 feet from some of these officers here.
Yeah.
And I've worked a handful of shootings in my time, and just because they're shot doesn't mean they're dead. They are definitely, and what you don't hear, and this is for those of us that have experienced the high level of violence in the world, there are people writhing in agonizing pain because they got shot in non-fatal areas.
Yeah, you just can't hear it on this camera. It's too far away.
There's agonal breathing. I'm going to get real trigger warning for everybody that's there. You just don't pass out like you do in the movies. People die in very slow, awful ways here, right? I don't know, man. I don't know. I have a hard time with this. Anyways, we'll keep going. I don't know, man.
So this is what, 7 minutes after the guy went in?
Yeah.
And this guy has a rifle.
You have a couple guys with handguns. I mean, like, I don't know, man. The first 3 guys, to be honest,
I think he was one of the first 3 guys with a rifle.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't know, dude. I don't know, man. Hold the channel. Jesus Christ.
His wife's dying, but I gotta check my phone.
I don't know why it keeps.
pause it real quick. So I want to mention we had covered a shooting that happened in Target. It was at I think it was LAPD. I don't remember who it was,
Oh,
but there
that
was
one.
yeah,
Was
this
that a
old guy
mall
pulls
or
out like
something?
he pulls out like a Vietnam era rifle, right? Makes scene, and everyone there's kind of staging,
Was that the
and he just
dude that hit the lady with the chain or whatever, the
yeah,
bike chain
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever? Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, everyone was like, "Hey, slow down, slow down." He sees an injured person, and I shit you not, for as much as the fucky back end of that went, and that he ended up over penetrating through the target and hitting somebody in a changing room. Ultimately, he addressed it in the way that you would want police to address it, and that's, "Hey, go find the person and go stop the hurting from happening. Go stop the killing from happening." So, like, that was one guy with like a random ass AR and a bunch of dudes with handguns,
Yeah.
and they went straight. And in a Target, it's a lot sketchier because he's got a lot more freedom to move. You don't know. It's a lot. There's a lot of concealment. There's
Yeah.
not a lot of cover. But here, like, I kind of know generally where the guy's at. I know I'm walking into a two-way, range here, but like, I don't know, man. I get it if you're concerned about possibly having like a hostage situation. We don't know what posture he was in that made them hit. I don't see. I would rather roll the dice, sit there and take my chances, and mortgage possibly the life of one person being taken. There's no way he took the whole damn classroom hostage. But like, I don't know, man. Like, the more I chew on this, I don't know. We'll keep watching so we can get done with this shit. God, dude, this is almost a fucking hour, man. What are we doing here, man?
Also, why aren't the shields up front?
That's a lot of fucking people for one dude.
Took you 48 minutes to figure out to put the fucking shields up front? Since you waited on them?
Yeah.
You waited 48 minutes for them to show up and you don't even put them where they belong?
Heck, they left the one here on the left.
Yeah, you can see it. It's just sitting there.
Maybe they decided enough kids died for their agenda.
Oh, yeah, the school's dirty. Get some hand sanitizer on your hands, you stupid fuck.
Yeah.
This is weird.
This is disappointing to the entire profession.
No, but like, this is weird.
No, I understand what you're saying, but
yeah,
this is also a little bit ridiculous.
So I'm guessing this is medical here. Okay, why is medical saying to stop? When does medical tell us to do anything?
I don't know.
So you've seen a bad TV show, right?
I've seen a few.
Because this is reminding me of a bad TV show.
Pause it real quick. So, and this kind of goes back to like what we're talking about emergency response. And I'm not reinventing the wheel here. This isn't some cool high-speed, low-drag tactics. Ultimately, your only job as a law enforcement officer is to create peace, right? And your job is to go in there and stop people from getting hurt. If they feel comfortable enough to have unarmed medical professionals here or personnel or just unarmed personnel here, the scene should have been secured forever ago. Like, let's be honest, the first three officers should have gone and handled the situation to begin with. And if they died, everyone that comes after them needs to handle the situation. I just don't. I know I'm not saying anything new. I know we're probably not contributing anything new to this, but I'll be honest, old boy here with the blue gloves, I don't know why the fuck he would hold people back here. You have victims clearly that are injured. I don't know, man. I don't know. It shouldn't have gotten past the first 5 minutes, to be honest.
Yeah.
I kind of understand slow, methodical room clearing. I could have, if they were going room by room, maybe I could understand why it took them that long. But like, you hear where the gunshots are. You probably follow the screams of people dying. It's probably not that complicated. I have watched untrained 12-year-olds play Ready or Not and understand how to stop something like this a little bit better. I understand the fear of it. Like I said, I've responded. I've had to walk over dead bodies to go respond to a shooting in progress, but there's just really no excuse. Given that specific scenario, there's zero excuse. It's a school, there's kids, old boy's here, I guess texting, asking his wife for her last will and testament or whatever. Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah. Well, and also, it's not in like any post that I saved, but the mayor came out and said that there is a huge cover up going on of what happened.
Not a single one of the initial things that were reported have turned out to be true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a single thing.
So,
and like, I don't understand why, outside of you guys pussed out and are trying to cover your ass. Like, you know what I mean? But like, how many people can be co-opted into inaction? That's what's creepy to me, is like,
that's what I find so crazy. And that's like when Sean says it's weird. It's weird that so many cops are that scared. Like that, like you're a cop and you're that just nonchalant about kids getting shot in a classroom. Like,
yeah, like something.
I've answered domestics with more urgency.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's just two idiots beating up on each other, you know, like at car accidents. I've answered with more urgency.
Fire alarms.
I'm serious. No, like commercial alarms. Oh, there might be somebody stealing from the store in the middle of the night.
Even certain welfare checks, like
like,
there's a sense of urgency there.
And that's what's creepy, is like, it's not just, and had it been the first couple, maybe I'd understand. Like, it'd be one or two really inexperienced officers, they get shot at and they just get stuck in fight or flight. But like the fourth, like the fifth, the 30th officer, that's what's crazy. It's so what upsets me is we may never know. And I think that's what upsets me about it. And if this was...
I'm starting to be more positive that this stuff is coming out. I think that they're not going to be able to hide anything.
That's my hope.
I don't think they're going to be able to hide anything about this.
So I'm hoping there's enough pressure on people to kind of get to the bottom of this. And if there was weirdness about this scenario, that comes to light. But I mean, this is like JFK assassination weird. Like, none of this makes any sense. Like, it didn't make sense to begin with. It makes even less sense now.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
So I'm gonna jump in just because I've been dropping it in the comments, but since I have a microphone, I'm gonna use it. So, well, just from watching this, my main thing is I think there's also a lot of like mob mentality happening here. Not to mention, like, once you get, and I think it happened after those first three officers like ran back, because at that point you've got the dudes that are standing around, right, that got there afterwards. They thought, oh, those guys are going to go take care of it. Those guys come back, they didn't take care of it. Now everybody's like, oh crap, what happened? So as more officers get there, the likelihood of any one of them doing anything decreases like exponentially.
And I'm with you.
I don't agree with that when it comes to cops.
So I'm not saying as
so he's talking about the right. Yeah, you're talking about the bystander effect. And
that's what I'm saying is
psychologically where you're coming from, but there's a specific instance, and Bill and I experienced this firsthand. We had the very last officer involved shooting that happened while Bill and I were there. They go and stop potentially the suspect's car, and there was two officers and a supervisor holding this car at gunpoint, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Bill and I show up where there's already someone who outranks us not doing anything, and two other officers that it's their side of town. And I guarantee you they were probably even more senior than us, to be honest.
They were. I knew one of them. They were.
And so they're standing there in OODA loop mode, right? They're looking, observing, thinking, and just not acting. And within, I don't know, 30 seconds.
And within 30 seconds, I had my rifle out, and you said, I'm hands, and we were moving to the car. In 30 seconds of putting the Tahoe in park.
And is it the same scenario? No. This is still a shooting. This is still a lot of risk, specifically on the side of town that we're in. This is potentially a guy just trying to murder a cop and two security guards, right?
Yeah.
We believe we have the suspect vehicle. There's a high likelihood of risk, but there's an apartment complex that he's currently parked in. And the longer I leave him there, the longer I know in the back of my mind. And a lot of that comes from training. that, hey, what the fuck are we doing standing here? Like, to me, like, if any of them experienced any level of training, it should feel odd to sit there and do nothing. Even if you're the 15th officer there, nobody asked us. And again, we overstepped rank to address that specific scenario. I get it. If it's been a barricaded person and there's nobody, there's no victims, no whatever, like, to a certain extent, maybe I'd understand it if the circumstances were different. But, like, technically, the second a more senior officer is going to show up and it's not their first rodeo, they're going to be like, what the fuck are we doing standing here? You, and you are the arrest team. Everybody else get the fuck out of our way.
Well, and my pushback here is I think this is their first rodeo. I don't think any of them have any experience doing this. So I think their mentality is 100% bystander. It is not officers who have done this. It is not officers who have acted in anything like this. They have never gotten past the point where they're thinking like any normal person would.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think it doesn't look that weird to me. It looks stupid. And I think they're, it's terrible that they acted this way.
Sure.
But it does look like exactly what everybody does whenever it's just like something happening in front of them that they're not prepared for. And then it's like, you're just not acting because you don't know how.
And there's some psychology behind that. And I'm 110% with you.
And that's why I'm pushing back, because I have my psych degree to do that.
Yeah. And I guess from a and maybe we're just built different, and maybe that's just the case, and this is why Bill and I are friends and stuff like that. But, like, there was plenty of times where we acted knowingly, and I'm not super cop. I'm still the 100th best cop I knew that I worked with, But, like, there was often times that we acted implicitly against general orders, sometimes really in a thick gray area of the law, because there was somebody that just simply needed our help, even if it wasn't, like, this urgent. You would sit there and do what you needed to do to help, because that's your job. And again, maybe they just did a better job of recruiting. Maybe I was very lucky to be around a bunch of super fucking awesome cops.
Well, and also maybe you guys were better prepared too, because it's also another thing of like, well, if I don't know what I'm doing and nobody around me seems to know what they're doing, are any of us going to know what to do going in, right? So, like, I think there's also we're walking into a situation where already a bunch of people don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And aren't acting. And if I go and act, do they know something that I don't? It's basically kind of
what's interesting about that
there
is typically as a cop, that's your whole job. Is if no one knows what you're doing, you're supposed to know what you're like, even if it's a car accident, right? Like, it's a DWI. Like, it's not a high stress situation for you, but you're like, yes, we got to exchange information, let's do SFSTs. Like, your profession, just like an EMT or just like a nurse, or just like a teacher, like, your job, because that's where all of your training goes to, knowing what to do in an emergency situation. It clearly they have the equipment,
This is the most basic shit that we get taught. If you hear gunshot, you run.
Well, and that's my other thing too. Like, I don't buy that when it's kids. Like, if it was something like, maybe if it was something else, but you're telling me that all of those cops, none of them have kids and they don't understand, like, there's children dying. Like, I don't buy it.
But also
like, even if he hated kids, his wife was bleeding out.
Sure.
Oh, well, fuck that guy. Like, that guy didn't even go down the hallway, so he can get fucked.
But, like, it's weird.
Yeah. Well, and even like from a supervisory standpoint, and I get it, clearly there was some shitty supervision occurring here, but, like, I had plenty of chances where just on the call text alone, send everyone.
Yeah,
I've heard dispatch sit there and pull, even though protocol was the only.
We've watched videos of civilians protecting kids.
That's what I'm gonna get.
So
like, there's a weird. I don't know. Maybe most senior officer.
None of them need to be police officers. Period.
Yeah. So it's a, I don't know, man. It's such a hard fucky situation, and we can judge the act of inaction. I think collectively, whether it's fucking bystander syndrome or whatever the fuck it is, clearly that shouldn't have been what happened. And even if even if you think that they've been co-opted by psychology, it's still cowardly to not act against that psychology. Because again, there's plenty of times where I'm running into a scenario, I'm like, this feels stupid. I can consciously feel that what I'm doing feels dumb.
That would have 100% felt dumb, kicking in that door and probably getting shot. But
hey, but what am I doing here?
There's that chance you get that special bullet that goes right to him.
And you're talking I'm talking field training. I had to kick doors.
Mhm.
Field training, I had to make scene and point guns at people. And maybe you're right, and kind of what Warren's coming from is that maybe that they're just in shock but shock doesn't last 45 minutes, dude. Like
No, shock doesn't, but
it's
your
an
shock
acute
can put you in a position where
Yeah.
you're no longer acting like you would as an individual, and now you're acting as part of the group.
Yeah,
And
but for
so the only
77
reason
minutes.
Yeah, dude,
yeah, well, the
that's a
reason I
long
bring it
day.
up is because I think there's obviously like there's clearly a fault in how they acted, but I think there is something to be learned from in terms of like how to get people over that clearly wasn't
Sure.
done here. Because I
Sure.
mean, I think
Yeah.
I read that they had like 2 days of active shooter training, which was basically like a classroom thing where they were told like you run at the thing, and it's like
More than I
okay,
had.
cool, yeah. And so,
More than I
but
had.
you also
Yeah,
had
we had-
but you also
we had
had like
4
experiences doing other
hours.
things.
Sure.
And so,
sure.
like, if your entire career has been writing tickets and like, or whatever, are you prepared for that? Or have you been recruited properly? Have you been trained properly? Like, what is it that you are missing here that
Sure.
would prevent this? Because this is not the first time that like an officer hasn't run in after an active shooter. There's been
Sure.
other stories
Was it
where that
Sandy Hook?
happened.
I think it
Yeah.
was, yeah.
Yeah, it was. And so it's like, what is it that is causing that? And if it's something that we can get at from a psychological perspective, because like even if there is something super fishy going on, you can't tell me you have that many officers involved in it
Sure.
either.
Sure.
Like that's the other thing. You can't get all of those people to agree to like just let a bunch of kids die because I don't know, they're getting a payoff from the government or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you just
yeah.
can't have that many of them do that.
And
And so the question comes from where is that portion of it coming from?
Yeah. And I
At
like I
some
said,
point, all of them are grouping up to make the same stupid decision.
and I brought that up early when the story came out that a lot of this probably came from a lack of experience in just dealing with it. Because again, it's a small fucking town in the middle of nowhere. But like I feel like none of these people looked young. So it's not like they're new to policing, and they should have been part of the golden generation of law enforcement where you were recruiting
Yeah.
guys that were highly motivated or whatever. I don't know, man. Like, just to me,
So
I just better see prison time on some of this.
So
shit.
as
I
far
mean that.
as violent crime goes, Uvalde came in at an 18. The average is 22. And where Josh and I used to work, they came in at 31.
Yeah.
So quite a bit higher violent crime.
That makes sense.
Right. It is what it is. It's just, it's still
I just
hard to imagine.
Yeah, no, it's such a fucky situation.
Well, and having done the job, like personally, and again, Bill can attest to this, and Sean can attest to this. I don't know if there's any cop that's going to watch this and be like, I don't understand where the doubt that you should go in there and do something came from.
I've seen one that I'm not going to name. But they have a pretty big channel, and they've been very
sure
a little more okay with what happened here than I would like.
Sure.
Dox them. Fuck them.
Dox them. Fuck them. Wait, who justified this?
They didn't justify it, but they were very much much more understanding than we would be. Mike the cop.
I don't know, man.
Fuck that guy.
And this is just
I don't know. Maybe his updated version was better, but like I don't know that original.
Is it who I think it is?
Mike
he
the
just
cop.
said it. Yeah, he said it was
Yeah,
Mike.
I just said it. Yeah.
Oh,
I stopped following that guy a while ago.
And I just based on the comments after I saw the first breakdown, and based on the follow-up comments, I was like,
and we even said
you're being very understanding of what happened here compared
even
to like,
in the initial call. Like even if it was that they thought the guy was barricaded and he had stopped shooting, which of course none of this is true, but even under that set of circumstances, I'm like, bro, that's a long time. Like do you still have, even on the justification of you have wounded victims that you need to go help? That's
yeah.
If I was in charge, let's say I'm part of the civilian oversight board here at Uvalde, right? I'm like, so how much prison time are we giving these people for not acting? Like, it's truly what I'm
board. I'm on board with that.
Not leave.
100%.
And that might sound cruel, right?
They're not gonna make it out of prison.
But like, but like in my personal opinion, like it's just, what do I say to those parents? How do I win back the confidence of the community that's paying taxes
Oh,
for
you're
me to
not gonna.
to have the fucking thin blue line, whatever.
No.
Like
You're never
I'm a
gonna.
vet,
You might as
never
well.
getting that
You
done.
might as
Yeah.
well turn Uvalde over to the county sheriff because they're never
Yeah,
gonna trust
getting
police again.
dissolved.
Nope.
Because
It's gonna get dissolved.
Has to.
But and to me, and this will be the last thing. At least I'll personally say it. If you guys have other stuff you guys want to say, I'm fine with it. But like, we talk a lot, specifically on this channel, about the type of cop that you want. And the type of cop that you want is the one that can kind of step up and create safety. And if you're really, really lucky, he can create safety and provide a little bit of first aid while he does it, right? But ultimately, like, that's your job. And you're the only person that gets issued a bulletproof vest and a gun because, again, we live in America and God bless our freedoms, but it does open us up to potential level of violence that just simply no one else has, right? You don't get to fly the thin blue lag flying or the I got your six tattoo or the fucking
Punisher wallpaper on your cell phone.
You don't get to do any of that.
Fuck that guy.
If that's your response. I mean that truly. And as much as that might sound cruel or mean, or I am anti that police, 110%.
You shouldn't get to be a police officer.
You know, I don't know how they do the like whole MI6 like thing where it's like, hey, can you how do I fool you into thinking you're having to do something you're not? And I can see kind of what you're made of, but like that's just not. I was asked to do a lot more for a lot less deserving a situation, and we did it all the time without thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not because we're hot shit. It's not the case at all. It's because we're like ethical, empathetic human beings. That are like, well, I don't want to be an able-bodied man sitting here with a thumb up my ass. While
I think we were
hurt.
slightly above average police officers.
Yeah, I just don't. I probably knew 5 cops that I would believe would stand there and do nothing that I worked with. Maybe 6.
Well, they only had 6 in that whole department, so.
Oh, I get you. They fucking rolled the one on that one. But I just
they got snake eyes all the way down.
Yeah. I just, and that's even now. Like that's even again. That was even during 2020, even during all that shit when it couldn't have been a more anti-police environment. I still put on the uniform every day, and we still went out and did the job justly. Even on the way out, literally within the last 2 months, I already knew I was gone. We'd already put in our leave slip. There's Bill and I standing there like dumbasses in the middle of the night working a fucking murder.
Yeah.
The right way and giving a shit and putting ourselves in harm's way because there was a kid that got killed and we were trying to make sure that the right thing got done and that we were doing right by that kid. And we didn't walk, we didn't hang out. We're kicking the door and going in there and doing it. I don't know, man. Like it just, I feel relatively justified in criticizing it as cowardice because we've had to do the thing plenty of times. And it just, again, for even less serious situation, this would have been the easiest. I can shoot this guy 100 times and no one's going to give a shit.
Yeah.
I could have walked up and executed him and nobody would have given a shit. To be honest. I don't know, man. You probably get the pardon. Anyways.
Hey boys, yes. I'm gonna have to dip off.
Sean, we love you. Do you have any parting words of wisdom from our resident supervisor? Don't do that shit.
Don't be a piece of shit.
Don't just stand there.
That's good.
Yeah, don't do that.
I like that.
I am more disappointed, and I mean this. I am more disappointed in those officers there than the guy that shot at the cops in that first video that we watched.
Yeah.
Because a dumb 18-year-old that just killed his dad. Well, what do you expect? He doesn't want to. He knows he's going to prison. He's going to shoot and do whatever he can to get away. These guys are getting paid and doing the "I got your 6" bullshit and doing the whole. It's a slap in the face. We know people that have died for that. I don't know, man. I don't know. Shit drives me nuts. Anyways, we'll keep going before I get more depressed about this.
Are you out, Sean?
Yeah, I gotta go.
All right,
love you guys.
Bye.
We love you. Bye.
Thanks for being here, Sean.
Hasta luego.
During the attack, one of our officers was stabbed in the abdomen.
Ooh, big oof.
Yeah.
What an asshole.
A taser was deployed twice during the altercation, but was ineffective and the subject continued to lunge at officers with the knife.
They are better than me. Suspect's knife.
It's not a small knife.
No.
Also, why are you tasing this guy?
That's what I was going to say. They're better than me, shit.
And this was in
After the officer was
2020.
stabbed, another officer fired several rounds at the subject, who ultimately died from those injuries.
Darn.
During the attack, one of our officers was stabbed in...
So you know what happens when you have officers that do shitty stuff like what happened in Uvalde? This happens more often.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chauvin. You gave me a very shitty 2 years of policing.
Well, also, to be fair, this is a lot of complacency because they're just sitting on a crime scene.
They're chilling, dude.
Because you can see old boy walk up from over here and then around the vehicle.
Yeah, they're chilling, my dude. I wonder what happened here.
Hey, how much did you say y'all's uses of force went up in 2020?
Astronomically, dude. Like I went from one every other month, maybe, to like
I was gonna say like one a quarter to one every 2 weeks.
Yeah. I was doing at least two to three a month.
Yeah.
And these are like not I grabbed someone and had to throw them to the ground. This is like pointing a gun at somebody. This is very like if it generated to a use of force report, it got ghetto.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't a healthy place to be. If that makes any sense. So shout out to Jesus, what the fuck?
Oh, I saw this video. This was nuts.
These look like rubber
no
bullets.
shit.
Yeah, these look like rubber bullets. Jeez, dude.
So I watched this video right after seeing the one where there were people shooting fireworks at cops.
Yeah.
And I legit thought this was a video of somebody who had picked up one of the launchers and was shooting them right back at him. And I was like, hell yeah.
It's kind of what it looks like.
God dang.
She's over it, dude.
So there was a rule of thumb I used to tell guys when I used to interact with people that got real feisty. And I used to tell them, I said, look, you piss me off and I might like fight you a little bit or whatever. You piss off a smaller female officer.
You're done for.
You better check yourself.
Dude, you're done for.
Tiny, and it's not a criticism. I'm just saying, ain't nobody going to feel bad for you if you're getting your ass kicked by some 5'5" officer. And again, if push comes to shove and we get to using equipment, bro, they're going to be absolutely ruthless on using that shit. She was A+1 or A+ example of what that looks like.
Yeah.
Shout out to Leon Noir.
Blank Forge gave us $5 to not show any more.
I want to sit here and just this is what family's for. I want to give a big special thank you to Blank Forge, who's a Patreon member and a contributor to the channel, for this super chat. And because of his $5 super chat, we have disallowed ourselves to see anything else from that shitty call.
I don't think I have any more, so
yeah, I'm going to honor that.
Shouldn't be too hard.
Blank, thank you.
I think we've probably said everything we need to say at this point.
Yeah.
It's
yeah. But this is awesome. So
deputies say the suspects tried to get into the family's SUV through the back seat where a 1-year-old was sitting. We're told the dad happened to be armed and shot both suspects. You can see a bullet hole in the rear window. And the whole thing was captured by a neighbor's camera right across the street. Just after midnight, surveillance video shows the moment a Harris County father opened fire on 2 would-be robbers who targeted his family's SUV.
They just arrived home in their vehicle. They had 2 infants in the back. It appears that 2 suspects tried to enter from the rear of the vehicle as they were stopped.
Deputies say mom was driving. You see her speed away down Feather Creek Drive to get away from the suspects. Investigators say dad was the one with the gun.
One of the parents inside the vehicle, as the suspects were attempting to enter, one of the parents fired off several rounds and shot both of the male suspects.
Deputies say the suspects are 16 years old. You see them in the middle of the street,
Don't care.
groaning after the shooting. But the video doesn't end there. Minutes later, Cell phone video shows 2 other cars pull up to the scene.
Mama, don't panic, just take me to the hospital.
Investigators say the teen suspects were taken to the hospital in private cars. They're expected to
Don't
survive.
Don't panic, just take me to the hospital.
Deputies say the suspects tried to get into the family's SUV through the back seat where a 1-year-old was sitting. We're told the dad happened to be armed and
Our
shot
resident
both suspects.
Harris County
You can see a bullet hole in the rear window. And the whole thing was captured by a neighbor's camera right across the street. Just after midnight,
I'm surprised Blank didn't say, "Hey, that's my street."
Surveillance
That's
video
my
shows
street.
the moment a Harris
There
County
it is.
father
You can
opened
pause it.
fire on 2
I think
would-be
it
robbers who
recycled
targeted
again.
his family's SUV.
That's
I
so
thought,
funny.
I thought Coleon was going to talk. Oh well.
No,
that's
I don't
fine.
think he does in this one.
He probably has
But
a
yes,
follow-up post.
yeah, there's a couple counties. There's a couple counties. I wouldn't do that kind of stuff in, and Harris is up there. Because you don't know if you're walking into like the law-abiding citizen or like the law-abiding citizen, like a gangbanger that you're trying to rob. Like all 3 of those are not a good scenario there.
Yeah, that's pretty ballsy to be doing that there. So,
dude,
shout out to Chicago.
Shout out to because police fitness.
Damn.
Well, what's going on here? How did it go into drive?
A
After that?
naked woman stole his police cruiser and ran him over.
I had a nickel for every time a naked woman stole in my car.
So you can't really see her because of this car. His leg is definitely fucked.
Oh yeah.
So shortly after she crashed and was arrested.
Well,
surprise, surprise.
Yeah, don't get your car stolen. That's a pretty bad thing to get stolen. I give any amount of respect to anybody that's willing to be a police officer. Shout out.
Yeah.
Let's see. What am I missing? Anything? I'm not.
Did they say how she got in there? Like, what was he doing?
No, there wasn't much. There wasn't much backstory on it, just because the video starts so late. So,
if I had to put my money on it, she slipped the cuffs, slid through the center divide, jumped in there. That's when he noticed, and when he swung the door open, she was already throwing that guy in a drive.
Oh,
that's my guess.
That's probably a good guess, because if she was naked, they were definitely there for her.
Yep.
So,
yep. Shout out to Street
People of LA.
There it is.
So I only saved this because Police Posts put this in their story. And it had like a small caption that said, "These poor cops have no idea what they're doing." And you can see that when you watch this entry to whatever the hell they're doing.
Is Crystal in the chat?
No, he said not to mention all these kids look 12.
This looks like a field trip.
Yeah.
This looks like our radio.
They got their buddy system. Yeah, that's me up front with the shield.
Yep, with the revolver.
But you can just tell, like,
and nobody watching the rear.
This is not great, dude.
So, pause it like right here. So, let's say, what is it? Suspect into custody earlier that day. Let's say this is like a warrant service, right? So you're serving a warrant, felony warrant for whatever, right?
Yeah, it's likely what it is.
All the equipment's here, right? So you got your less lethal in the very, very back, right? You've got your shield guy here with his handgun, I guess, doing hood rat stuff here. You have your rifle, not even point. Like clearly, there's something to be or a shotgun, yeah. So you have your long gun, clearly not pointed at anything important, and then a handgun behind him. And maybe I bless the corporal standing back here that he's like, I guess, the hands team. I don't know why, because they'd be making their rookie do that.
They're in field training for sure.
But like, if you're a corporal and this is a felony warrant arrest, like, you really letting him doing this? Like,
that's a failure all on its own.
That's kind of what I'm getting at, is like, if it's this serious of a call out, like, how about let's not get your rookie killed and just be like, hey, why don't you be hands, right? I'll be lethal. You'll be. I've said it. We had a very young officer with us, and she ended up being great. But it was her. You could tell it was like one of her first like kind of serious. She was one of our COVID releases, so they got released during lockdown.
Yeah.
So they didn't get to do anything, and then post lockdown it got hairy. But anyways, you could tell that she was kind of amped and whatever, and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be lethal." Bill here's either gonna be he gets to decide between lethal or less lethal, and you'll be hands. Don't worry about anything else. You still get to be in the action. You still get to go get your feet wet here, but like you're not having to worry about whether.
And if you need extra hands, I've got 2. So
sure, exactly. And so that's your job as the senior officer there. Which this guy with the little stripes on his.
Mind you, we didn't have stripes, and we were 3-year officers at this time.
And we still did a better job than that. That's all I'm getting at. Yeah, there's a whole other bullshit part of that, but.
This is just sad, dude. This is what's out on the street right now.
I don't know, man. God bless these guys.
That's
for
scary.
Trying to do this. But to me, I think it's negligent because you're going to start getting more of these Uvalde situations if you're not allowing these officers time to grow into their jobs.
Yeah.
So I have a quick question.
Go for it.
Sorry. So with a department as big as like LAPD, right? Would they have? Because we've seen a lot of videos where like there's like that, and then there's other ones where they're like the officers are doing a ridiculously good job, right?
Sure.
Do they? Like I know y'all city was broken up into like quadrants, right?
4, yeah.
Would like a different sections of the city have different recruiting, or
sure.
So
you're all getting them from the same pool. What oftentimes happens, and this is exactly why Bill and I got stuck in the situation we were stuck in. You'll get a group of senior officers that get hoed over, right, by administrators, and they'll say, "You know what? Fuck it. We're all going to decide to work on one side of town, because we can from a seniority standpoint."
Yeah,
and that leaves clearly a side of town that needs help. Very short manned as far as seniority is concerned. And in big cities, what ends up happening is that you still have to answer the 911 call in your area or the felony warrant service or whatever it is, but you're having to do that with 1, 2, 3-year officers instead of 15-year officers or 12-year officers. So that does happen. It's not that they're coming from a different recruiting pool. It's that there was no incentive or there was not a good culture to maintain experienced officers in an area, and they leave.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened.
It's tough in a city that big, though. Yeah. Like, it's a lot easier to fall through the cracks. You're in a huge recruiting class. You're not getting, like, individualized training. You're getting group training. It's very easy to hide in a group. And we saw that with our class because we were the second biggest class in our department's history. We had 41. The biggest class had, like, 46, I think. And it was, you could tell there was people at the top, there was definitely people at the bottom, and then there's people that at any other recruiting class would have been at the bottom, but they skated through in the middle because they just didn't get observed enough.
Shout out to Alfredo. I bet that was an awesome way to recruit officers for the most part. And then Richard, you're 100% correct. If I need a shield, I didn't typically wear my helmet, even if I had to put my plates on, mostly because I would rather have situational awareness. If I was getting hit in the head, I was going to
We also didn't have cool helmets.
No.
We had like 20-year-old helmets.
Yeah, and then the stairs are definitely
also we didn't point our pistols out around our shields. If you were shield, you were shield. You had lethal right behind you.
Yeah.
Well patrol officers aren't trained on that. SWAT guys are. Like
we also didn't have red dots, and we didn't have lasers on our pistols.
I bet you didn't even have a Magnum.
It depends on what you're talking about. Like
depends.
Not in your wallet, Bill.
Oh, okay. Well, all right.
In your holster.
Shout out
I
to
do not
police
know.
post.
No Magnum in my holster.
Yo, stop right there, both of you. Stop. Hey. Ooh, stop. Put out the help call. Stop. Let me see your hands.
Weapons call. That's
Put
why.
out the help call.
Oh, he pulled out a gun. You just can't see it on his camera.
Let me see your hands. Let me see your hands. He has the gun on him. Hey, don't move, man. Don't move. Stick out your hands. Watch that guy back there. Stick out your hands. He's hit. Stick out your hands. He's hit. Okay, he's hit. It's okay. Slow down. Stand by.
Bro.
Body cam officers in it to win it here. Oh,
not a great place to miss your shot with this big-ass tank right here.
No. Yeah, no.
But just like Juan was talking about, this is also LAPD.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see a vast difference between these guys and the last video.
That was the thing, because like we watch a lot of LAPD videos, and like some of them are great, and some of them are like, how did these people get out of kindergarten, much less?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. What's crazy too is he's de-escalating his backup officer while holding lethal here. Shout out to this guy. What a badass.
Juan, the chat's asking for you to turn your camera on.
Oh, sorry, guys. Okay, you guys are gonna see me be very sleepy. I haven't slept very much this week. Been working a lot. I'm gonna be a sleepy sweat. If I fall asleep on stream, it's on y'all.
Oh my god.
Are you drunk?
No.
Well, then you'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
I can be if you want me to be. But...
No, we'll save that for Tuesdays. Here you come.
Blank Forge. Yes, shout
Come
out
on.
to Exxon.
What happened? Oh.
It's not playing?
My OBS is freaking out.
I was trying to let Juan get
Oh, my
on.
OBS is being dumb. It was blocking my camera.
Oh.
My rover fell off.
Wait, one more thing. Shout out to this guy for doing that with one shot.
Yeah. That's some straight wanted shit right there.
Hey, stick out your head. Get a rover rolling. Get all
There he
rolling.
is.
Get all rolling.
There I am.
Hey, this guy here, male Hispanic, chubby.
Chubby? That's rude.
Damn, he's talking about me. Bro, this is why you wanted me on camera. This is why you wanted, because he's talking about me.
What timing?
Damn.
What timing?
Damn, yeah. Hispanic male chubby, and I pop right up.
And he pointed back this way towards the camera.
He pointed right at my face. Damn.
That's funny.
I got brutalized. All right, I'm out of here.
You can blame Sweeper.
Okay?
It was his. It was his comment. It was Sweeper's comment.
Sweeper.
Yeah.
Sweeper
he's
knew.
with him, but he didn't have
He's
the
watched
gun.
this before.
We gotta make an approach. Stop moving! Stop moving! Stick out your hands! Now! Come over to you? Yeah. Come over to us. We gotta make an approach so we can render aid. Okay. So
That guy, dude. What an animal.
Go around that way. We're gonna go around this side.
He's real calm, too. Shout out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get some
The
gloves.
gun is pointing here, so let's go over here.
Bless it.
Watch out, gun's pointing here.
Ginger Ninja said there can only be one.
Yeah. All right, we need 2 officers who are gonna go hands on.
All right, stand by, bro. Hold on.
Great communication.
Gloves, Angel.
You guys put out the RA request?
Yes, I got the RA.
Yeah, this is good shit compared to that last video.
Don't reach for that gun, all right?
Where's the gun?
It's under him. Hey, stop doing this going westbound. Crossfire.
Probably also slow everybody down.
Did you hear those brakes?
Yeah, I just did it. That's it.
So the gun is right under him, okay? Right under him. We're gonna have 2. We're gonna
No
approach.
hurry. I like it.
I'm contact.
Hold on. I'm ready.
Great communication.
Hey, hang on. We got hey, don't move.
Hey, stop moving your hand, man.
Hey, somebody got taser, right? I got taser. Okay. All right, on you.
Ready? All right.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to his left. Grab his left arm.
Don't move, bro. We're gonna try to help you out, okay? Don't move. We're gonna try to help you out. Get his other hand. The gun is right under him.
Look at that bike cop in there.
Shout out.
2 bike cops.
Bike cops. My God.
I bet they were riding tandem.
Do you hear those handcuffs going on?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yo, stop right there, both of you.
Oh, they were riding 2-man. Good for them.
Good for them, dude.
That was a great
They
video.
got their buddy system figured out. That's
Yeah,
why their
dude.
field trip went better.
That was a great
It's
video.
exactly what it is. There's some senior ass cops, you know, they're like, fuck working with those losers over there on the other side of town.
Yeah.
So shout out to those officers.
This one comes out of St. Paul, Minnesota, where
we're sternal when you need them.
Yeah, I know.
We're sternal.
This shit is wild though. So this kid I think is like 4 or 5.
Looks about 4 or 5. Yeah.
Wait till you hear how he talks to this cop. Just so you know, these cops are there serving a murder warrant.
Hey, it's ATF right there. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
He's a fan.
The kid's got a gun he shouldn't have.
I'm frying his ass. His deep fried Oreo head ass.
I bet when I go one of them in a fry pan, they have one burn.
How many times do you think we've seen this personally?
I don't know, dude. I try and block it out.
Yeah, I think. You know what? I want Juan's take on this. I'm going to take Juan's take on this. We have producer Juan. He's got the psychology degree. Hit us with this. What do you think?
So I also worked in a pretty bad part of town here in Dallas, but I was a tutor, not a cop. Back in college.
I don't know if that's much better.
Yeah,
but I did work with the kids. Yeah, well, I worked with kids just like this. I mean, I worked with the like honors kids, but it was a very similar. That's not to disparage them. It was just like you could tell very well that they were going to get eaten up by the system. But like them talking like that and acting like that, not out of the question at all. Like these kids knew words and things that I was very shocked that they knew and that they could talk about. I mean, we had multiple times where we went into lockdown because there were gang fights just happening outside.
Yeah.
And we were in the portables and we're just hanging out, waiting, and the kids would pull up some rap music and just start singing every single lyric.
Yeah.
And so it was like it was not unusual. And I think a lot of people get shocked and probably will be shocked if they watch this, that there are kids that talk like this and act like this.
A lot of kids.
Because I think most people expect kids to be like cute little suburban whatever, do their dress up in their parents' clothes and like dance around. But like, that's not everybody's reality. That's not everybody's life, and there's a lot of this that gets ignored by the general populace, and especially in the mainstream conversation about whether like how we raise our kids, how society handles a lot of these issues that we're having. Most of it begins here. Like most societal problems begin here, and we don't address this because this is hard. This is you have to start 40 years ago and work your way up to a better society. This is not you take this kid from this parents. It's like that doesn't fix that. The parents
That's
might
only
end up
going to
in
make
jail
it worse.
Exactly. It's like CPS can't fix it because again, everything that we do is a band-aid on a broken system, and the broken system requires all of us to agree on some kind of solution and everybody to buy into it. And we can't even agree to like have a solution, much less buy into implementing it, much less even agree on what the discussion should be.
Yeah.
And so, I don't see it getting better.
What frustrates me the most about this? Oh, bro, Blank, what's going on? Blank. It's a super chat. You gave us the best super chat to not get us to talk about that incident we're trying to talk
also,
about. I'm already happier for it.
Blank, you're here and Napalm isn't, so that's
exactly.
That's a donation all on its own.
That's a donation all by itself. But what we saw a lot of times with this type of stuff is that like it's the broken system feeding the broken system to proliferate a bigger, more broken problem. And then like everyone only wants to talk about it once there's like something to point their finger at.
Yeah.
So like when you have a 10-year-old getting smoked by cops because he pulled a gun on cops or whatever, something crazy like that, or that there's a murder that'll happen, or a carjacking that'll happen, and the kids are like 13 that are doing it or whatever. Like that's when at least the news will pick it up then, and the news will pick it up then, and everyone will talk about, see, this is why we need to put more money into schools, or see, this is why we. And I was like, dude, there is a bigger cultural norm that we are completely ignoring as far as, and it's not. I don't want to just get on a moral high horse and say that it's in the music or it's in whatever. It's even more complicated than that. Like it's anytime that you segment, it's violent video games, or it's music, or
dude,
it's like
it's the community. Because when
that's what I was
grew
getting at.
up,
It's much bigger,
dude. If I would have talked like that around any adult, not my parents, any adult, they would have smacked the shit out of me. Like you just don't you don't see people do that anymore.
Yeah, and like even I grew up relatively poor as a really young kid, and I grew into affluence because my parents started doing better. But even in the poor, you have poor, not they're even ignorant, but they have this fear of things getting out of hand, and they still want you to grow up to at least be a respectable person.
Yeah.
And like that's a cultural want. You have to want because that's not socioeconomic. It is easier when you got money, but I've met plenty of rich people that are complete idiots.
Well,
They're over there,
that's
DWIing
also
and
true.
domestic assaulting,
Yeah, they're caught. So I'm not going to make the joke because
But ultimately, like ignorance is they keep wanting to point the finger at one thing, and I was like, no. This is humanity not evolving past that. Like just like the golden rule, or I like the platinum rule, is like treat people as you think they should be treated. Because you may hate yourself and think, well, the golden rule means they treat everybody like shit. But like ultimately,
I think that's
like
a big problem is
yeah,
how much people hate themselves, and then they take that out on everyone around them.
Yeah, I think that there's so many different angles where I think we're failing as humanity, and the side effect of that seems appalling when you don't deal with it all the time. But it's way more common than you think.
Yeah.
And it's sad that we have stereotypes now to laugh about in comedy skits or whatever. But ultimately, like there is a price to be. Daddy issues has a price, right? That not having, the gangbanger lifestyle has a price, or just like general ignorance has a price. Being toxic has a price. And again, until it affects you, you don't give a shit, or you're willing to give your anecdotal 2 cents on what you think's going to fix it. And I was like, it's not one thing. I wouldn't even say it's 10 things. I think there is a systemic identity change that would have to happen, not just in our society. This proliferates way past. It's not an American problem. I think it's a people problem. But until you start holding ourselves more accountable for what we do and how our actions affect other people, you're going to continue to see stuff like that. It's not bad across the board. There's, again, my group of friends are wonderful people and I love them, but it's fucking wild, dude, and more common than you think.
That's for sure.
Shout out to police. I said police fitness nutrition. Man who allegedly sold a Draco to a teen is shot and killed in Detroit. Oh shit.
Yeah. So, the Detroit officer who got killed was rotating, and then this came out. So the guy on the left here bought the gun, and then ended up, I guess, selling it to this kid.
Like a straw purchase.
Yeah. And then the kid shot a cop and killed him later that night.
I'm so glad that they had that law in place to protect them from that. It's great. I believe in laws. I believe in the rule of law.
There's a few laws there, right?
Yeah, there's a couple. There's a minor in possession. There's obviously the straw purchase, and then there's a lot of shit going on.
Murdering a police officer? I think that's against the law.
That too's a smidge illegal.
But depends where you are, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I was about to say. But I think
if you'll get prosecuted or not.
Yeah, what's sad to me is I think the takeaway from a lot of these situations is going to be like, again, you'll fall on your side of the fence. You'll say, well, you need to have more rules, or see, this is why we need less rules, or what. I was like, no, there's clearly a kid who's a fucking idiot, and we need to figure out why this kid's and kind of like what Juan was saying about the whole situation that I super chatted my way away from talking about. Like, you have to start addressing the why, not just trying to slap a band-aid on it. Because again, technically in an ideal utopia, we don't need any of these laws.
Yeah.
It's just you wouldn't fucking do it. It would just be untenable for you in society to be a fuck off because we just collectively shun you.
Or you'd be dead.
Or you'd be dead. Yeah, exactly. There's that even easier. But I think that we have to continue to look past a political or a personal or academic agenda and really truly look at the root causes for a lot of this stuff and how you can address it in a more effective way.
And stop looking at it from the perspective of, oh, this is something I can use to dunk on somebody.
Exactly.
Like every single one of these stories is always looked at as oh, this is going to prove my point, and then I can make my point and I can win an argument, and that doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
at the end of the day.
Because really, like, and as much as clearly I'm partisan on one side of the fence from that, my fucking first comment came out and said that, I'm still willing to look at this and say, yeah, but something needs to get done. And I don't have the answer, and nor do I think the answer is a simple one. Unfortunately,
yeah, you're not just out here screaming, "Shall not be infringed." Period.
No. I
That's
definitely.
the
I have
end of
no
our
problem,
conversation.
I have no
Shall not
problem
be
with them
infringed.
restricting, with background checks and stuff like that. None of that shit bothers me, to be honest. I need to make sure this person's not a felon. I need to make sure this person's not, secretly raging inside trying to kill his whole family. If I can find that out, I'd like to know, if you've earned that moniker, I guess, or whatever, then yeah, I'd like to know. But
more laws aren't going to fix it. That's clear, as day.
I can't hear y'all because I'm at the store.
You can write on a piece of paper that people can't do all the things, but like you have no enforcement mechanisms, you've got no resources, you've got none of this stuff. You've got no way to implement any kind of actual change. So all you're doing is waging a PR campaign.
And look at us
hoping to get
now.
votes out of it.
We hardly have consequences.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what's crazy to me. You're going to go slam somebody away for having like a little bit of weed on them and they're doing fucking 10 years for that. But, God forbid, you go and
well, that's
shoot at someone
also a
street.
humongous part of this problem.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What are the priorities of the court system as well is a huge part of the problem. And again, typically the people who end up paying the price for all of this stuff are not the people who are the actual problem. It's usually
that kid that said, "Shut your fucking mouth, bitch," to a cop at 5 years old. Because guess what? His dad's probably in jail currently or has been arrested several times. And then what? You think he looks at police as something good? No, every time they come, they take his dad.
Well, and you know what? And Blank mentioned it before. I was talking about like a raging alcoholic that doesn't hurt anybody. He said, no. A raging alcoholic absolutely hurts people, like whether it's directly or not.
Yeah.
I think it's the same thing with people that are fuck offs, kind of like it's never just affecting you.
Yeah.
Ever. If you're a fuck up, it is affecting way more than just you, whether you like it or not. Shout out to Jacob for the $5 super chat. He's getting cookies and beer.
Yeah. Unless you live in the woods completely by yourself in a self-sufficient house, your actions affect other people.
Someday, baby.
Hashtag,
Someday.
Hashtag goals.
Someday.
Yeah, that's exactly why we're working towards that.
Hey, man. You guys keep giving us some super chats, and we're going to make a compound, and we're just going to call it Only Cops Ranch, and it's going to be great.
Yep.
It's going to be great. Megan, if you give a cup a cookie, wow.
You got to give him a donut, Megan. Come on. I taught you better than this.
Josh does
Don't embarrass me in front of my friends.
Josh does love donuts. There's pictures to prove it.
It's true.
He also loves wasn't he the one that's always eating cookies in front of us too?
Yeah, always. No,
oh, no, wait, is that Jacob?
No. Now, every time I come to your house, there's a new box of cookies.
I get
Was it male Hispanic Chunky?
Yeah, Chunky
It was Chunky Chips Ahoy, so close.
Oh my god. Hey. Anyways, thank you, Jacob, for the super chat and for outing me for being
or as that little kid said, Oreo headed something or other.
Yeah.
Crusty Oreo headed ass.
Yeah. That's what it zoomed in on your face, Josh.
That's what it was.
Your Oreo.
Okay, we'll keep going.
So audience beware, this one's pretty rough to listen to.
This post OIS?
Yep.
Fuck, dude.
Right after.
What the fuck did he do that for?
Hey, shout out to this police department for removing him from the situation.
Yeah.
Hop in this car. Go, see. Here you go. Hop in.
Wait a second.
I wouldn't make him
what
drive.
the fuck?
No.
Hop in.
I'd let him sit in the passenger seat.
Yeah.
Did you discharge?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. No one's showing that.
Yeah, I think I probably only had... I probably only had about 3 or 4 calls that upset me that much. It was never during that, because obviously I never had to shoot somebody, but like I had a handful of calls that after I got off a shift. I got to be my little pussy self inside my car and do whatever. But there was a handful. Afterwards, it's a lot worse. I remember some shit that I wish I could have repressed a lot better.
That's the other thing nobody talks about is when you get done, like when you leave.
Oof.
And we only did not even 5 years.
Sure.
And you leave and your brain is like, oh, we're done with that? Like, we're good? And then it all just...
Yeah, I laughed. I remember Juan being like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna start I guess re-remembering shit because you don't have to repress it anymore." And I was like, "Fucking Juan doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. That fucking loser."
Yeah,
I'm over there like 6 months later. Like, what do you mean I did what?
Yeah,
there was a few calls I legitimately thought were bad dreams.
Yeah,
and then someone brought it up. I don't remember what the hell we were doing. Someone was telling me about a call I worked with them. And I'm staring at him like, and then the memories came back, and my wife was sitting there watching. She's like, I could see it hit you.
Yeah.
That you had completely repressed it. And to them, it was like the crazy call that they're like, yeah, it's just one crazy fucking call. And like, it's like a shit magnet for bad stuff. But like, when you unrepress it, if that makes sense, it's not, you process it very poorly, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because again, we're empathetic human beings and we're not made for this kind of shit. So. But at least I have nothing but PTSD, not a guilty conscience, and probably a special place in hell for standing there watching a bunch of kids die. So, anyways, we'll keep going.
Dishonoring that super
Fuck that bars, man. This is what happens at the bars. The motherfucker. You trying to fight the... Oh, he's fighting the police! He's fighting the police! Oh, yeah.
Bro, he got handled. Bro, fuck this fight, dude. I had to let this guy go. Unless these guys were being cool.
Just wait.
That is so many people.
Crazy show is happening. You know, he really want to kill him right now, but there's too many people out here.
He wasn't resisting though, guys.
Oh, wow, they just shook it off and he walked away. That's some real shit. You don't see this a lot. This has to go to the real nigga right there, man. He ain't do nothing.
This is that episode of Southland.
So,
just like,
my thought is working at part-time at an event.
Okay, you know what, Ben?
Didn't turn his body camera on, or didn't even bring it. Didn't call it on the radio. He was just trying to break up a fight. The guy thought it was someone else, not a police officer. I don't know. I'm not against it.
That makes sense.
I'm not against it.
Because what other reason would there be for such a big crowd?
Yeah.
You know?
Street racing?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I will bless it because I do believe in officer discretion, and he's exercising said discretion that he said, you know what, we scrapped, he's good, I'm good, we're out of here, we're done, right?
Because he did, but the cop came up from behind him and threw him off, while he's in the middle of a fight. So it's fair to think that he thought it was just some random person from the crowd.
Sure, I buy that.
And then when he realized, oh, this dude's got a gun belt on.
He's like, whoa, I'm fighting the cop. That makes sense. Yeah. So. Shout out to having empty hand skills. But yeah, dude, there is a very serious. I guess he thought he felt well enough that the crowd was going to be cool.
Yeah, that's sketchy.
That's sketchy, dude. That was the biggest thing that gave me heartburn. I was like, you're by yourself, my dude.
Yeah, that's definitely sketchy.
Dog rescued from. Here we are. This is what we came here for, baby. Shout out to that sergeant assisting.
Yes, I can. Watch. Get me at the 1, 2, 3.
We need more dog rescue stories on this show.
I know, dude. This is a great one, too.
He's in the cage.
Well, he stood no chance, dude.
Come on, baby. It's all right.
So I'm just going to say, if I couldn't get that thing open, I'd be flipping it over.
I was about to say,
yeah. I was literally, you just...
I got you, sweetie.
That's all you really got to do.
Yeah.
Come on, baby. Come on, sweet angel. Come on, honey. Come on.
Oh, look at him, too. It's just like, it's okay. I'm just nervous.
I want to help you.
Smart. Very smart.
I got him. I got him. We're going to take him.
A, for the glass, but also to keep the dog calm. And also in case that dog decides to whip around and bite your ass. Because they don't like getting picked up.
So the detective was hospitalized, treated for smoke inhalation, and possibly has permanent respiratory damage.
Damn.
So
yeah, that smoke is no joke.
Shout out to her.
It'll burn your lungs from the inside.
Yeah. And it didn't even look that smoky in there.
No, it didn't look like anything.
It was probably so
like
hot. Just
100%. Yeah. Dude, shout out to that person. Above and beyond.
Yeah.
My guy. Okay, we're not hitting this dude if he's trying to take a gun. We're sumoing him into next week. Shout out to his weapon retention skittles there, dude. Bruh.
Yeah.
That's also why you handcuff and you try to get your knuckles facing each other so they cannot use them for grasping.
And also, he did put his gun right next to this kid. Like,
sure.
So.
What an idiot. Just the whole situation was kind of stupid. Shout out for handling up, though. At least he's not, like, begging for his life or some shit. Went over there and handled up, but people will do stupid shit. I have experienced dumb fuckery plenty of times. LVMPD. Where the hell is that?
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas Metro.
Yeah.
Las Vegas Metro. Okay. Juan, of course.
I was really sure about the LV, and then I saw the M, and I'm like, wait. Now this looks like a Super Bowl numeral.
Yeah, it's Las Vegas Metro. This is the one Chris wanted us to watch.
Okay, shout out to Chris the cop. Go check out his channel if you're part of our 5 subscribers.
Hey, we're at 17:30. Show some respect.
Hey, if you're watching this and you like this stuff, you should be subscribed. I know like 80% of you are not, but
and you should share it, maybe. You
should like this video.
Let people know that it's cool.
Blank Forge will pee-pee whack me if I don't tell you to like it. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez.
Yellow thing. That's how they pop their tires. Go slow and don't hit those fucking yellow things.
They're in field training. Dude.
Yep.
Oh, they're gonna run.
Holy shit. He said they're gonna run.
Get on the fucking ground! Get on the ground now!
What a gangster corporal, dude.
Yeah, thank God he just didn't let us recruit.
Go, you move! Shout out to that SIG PT26.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's got a nice duty pistol.
I'm dying, not yet.
We can only hope.
We can only hope, dude.
What was the call for this one? Do we know?
It just says he got shot after shooting at police. That's a lot of blood,
He keeps a medical kit on his ankle. Shout out to the ankle medical kit.
That's a lot of blood.
Yeah, that nicked something important.
Look, you can see it pouring out. Holy crap.
Oh my God! Yes!
I still have zero sympathy because you shot at the cops. So.
Yeah.
Yes!
Whoops.
Oh my God! Sir, please!
Sir, please, I know I just tried to murder you, but please save my life.
Go ahead.
Yo, shout out to these officers, dude. Like, you have no idea how much respect I have for them. I lost a lot of my sympathy, or my empathy on a lot of this stuff, but
yeah.
Shout out to these guys for giving a fuck, dude. Shout out to this rookie.
Ooh. No. Put that down.
What are you doing?
Put that down. No, you don't need to donate when he's on the ground. Stop it.
Jesus, dude. Oh my God! You think you got an ass kicking after this? Woo!
I think that's the victim. So.
Yeah, why are we pointing again at this lady?
I mean,
shout out to the rookie for being there and staying in the fight. Shout out to him for that. but like
that corporal did a fantastic job.
Let's not kill your FTO, dude. Jesus.
Yeah.
Hey, but he was in it. To be fair, and so there was a rule, and I'll honor this guy. Hopefully, he's lucky enough to see this. But there was one time that we had a call, and he typically when he was my very first PTO or FTO, field training officer, and he told me it was like watching phase, so we were supposed to just kind of observe. Obviously, we're there and we still have to do stuff, but like he at the end of this phase, it's like a week. He said, "I never want to not know where you're at, and that's because you should be in front of me." Literally what he said. He goes, you should never be chasing your field training officer. And I took that to heart. And it from that time on, I got into stuff more often, and I learned a lot of this stuff because he's right behind me the whole time. And most of my field training officers were right behind me and if I was fucking up something, he'd kind of grab me and do whatever. But like in general, this the only thing that ran through my mind is I see the back of my FTO. Like I need to get ahead of him. And it literally gave me anxiety because like, no, I need to be right next to them, if not ahead of them.
Yeah.
But shout out, he's having to drive the car and put it in park, and that guy looked like a stud. So anyways.
Any thoughts on the application of the tourniquet? Richard DeCou mentioned no gloves, full scientist mode.
Yeah, dude. Like,
it's just one of those things, dude. Like, you get an OIS, you're not going to stop to put gloves on.
I was about to say, given that it was an OIS, I might give him a slight pass on that because the fact that he even thought to do it, to be honest.
Yeah.
You should be putting on gloves because if this nasty motherfucker's got the nerve to shoot at you, he's probably an idiot. So maybe he's got something nasty swimming around in his bloodstream, but it is nice to have them when you have them. I used to keep them. I kept 3 to 4 in my vest, and then I kept even more, I think about 2 or 3 in my back pocket at all times. And if I used them, I would replace them. So it's really good to have those. But that being said, shout out to bro. That corporal killed it.
Yeah.
Literally and hopefully literally, not figuratively, but.
Also, would you have been allowed in your department to have the tourniquet on your ankle?
We carried them.
Yeah.
Because I know you have the little pack, but.
Yeah.
Well, we carried them on our belts. We were able to buy little holsters for them that went on our duty belts. Like pretty much our whole class did that. And technically, I think it was against general orders.
100%.
But nobody ever said one thing about it.
We respected it.
Yeah. So.
Shout out. See? Cops breaking rules because they know it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow. Bill is subscribed.
Yeah. So this is out of Phoenix. Shout out to
Active
Axon.
Self-Protection.
No, shout out
and
to Axon. This is officer drops beanbag shotgun when perp charges.
Cam we are watching right now is on a totally unrelated call for service at this gas station, but he is going to observe a man right there who is waving around a machete. Now, upon further inspection, you're going to hear this guy talking
Phoenix
a little bit,
is
and he's
wild.
raving about Jesus and Satan and all these things. So it calls
well, I follow that Dark Horse page every day.
Try to just
There's
keep him
shootings.
off the roads until they can maybe get a mental health crisis team there. Let's listen in.
Must be nice. You know the mental health crisis team in our department was?
You stay that way.
Especially at night.
Yeah, dude. My guy. Let's back up.
It's a female.
Get back. Put it down.
My female. Shout out to them having a helicopter cover.
Drop it.
My person.
I'm telling you, dude, Phoenix is wild.
411, Bravo. We're gonna need a nice.
They probably
So
just keep the helicopter.
I was about to say they
just kind of like toss some stuff at her and walk off with that machete into a busy road. Officer shows up with a beanbag shotgun. He's going to load that sucker and interact with the guy. Let's listen into his badge cam as well.
Badge cam? It's body cam, son.
Maybe they have one of those like little pinhole ones.
Hey, shout out for this guy operating the hell out of the shotgun, my dude. This guy's legit. I do like the application of the beanbag here, because this street is not a great backdrop.
Well, speaking of badges, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Kristen.
Hey, to our favorite. Put a carrot in the chat.
Yes. Carrots and cake. Put some carrot cake in the chat for Kristen.
Put some carrot cake in the chat for Kristen.
Michael better be doing something nice for your birthday.
Hey, Michael.
Whatever
Just saying.
passes for nice in North Carolina.
Oh my god!
I wasn't even gonna make a North Carolina joke just for Kristen's
I was
birthday.
over here trying to be nice because it's her birthday. Golly, someone clearly, man, dude. Juan's out here for blood. Goodness gracious. Golly.
Hey man, I was just playing my video game. Chat demanded I be on stream. This is what happens.
Chat demanded it.
Chat demanded it. So yeah, he really laid into him here.
Fucking knife! Drop the fucking.
I ain't mad at him.
Drop the knife!
This is the third officer who drove his patrol car a ways down the street to keep him from moving further down the street. He gets to see this go down too.
Hey.
Here. Phoenix PD did a great job of stabilizing this footage. Let's watch it.
Hey.
The officers were able to get this guy to drop the machete. They're going to go ahead and move in on him, secure him, and render emergency.
Okay. That was a pretty weak charge. It says it charged at him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now, I will say this,
dude.
him scraping the machete, he shouldn't have made it to the street where that chick stood in between him and the street.
Yeah.
Had she smoked him right then and there, to be honest, I wouldn't have any issue with it.
Yeah.
The problem, and here's where you get into a problem. What's illegal about what he's doing?
He's impeding a roadway.
Once he's in the roadway, right? Once he's in the roadway, right? But it's not a violent felony.
In a roadway.
Yeah, it's not a violent felony.
Well, he's impeding a roadway with a machete.
Yeah, so
it's semi-violent.
Yeah, person with the weapon, it's kind of a weak. My only issue, like I said, is ultimately now once he's in the roadway, you do have an obligation to keep him from going anywhere. And I'm not letting a guy walk me down with a damn machete. I'll tell you that.
I'm with you.
So, but I am with you that like when they chose to fire was a smidge weird, but I mean ultimately, don't be running around with a machete.
I think it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure it should have happened there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also not gonna wait to find out.
Chris was asking what we thought of the Vegas clip.
The corporal was incredible.
Yeah, the corporal was an absolute stud.
The rookie, I give him a C.
Yeah, the rookie.
The flagging his corporal in the back for like a good 2 seconds. Rough.
Yeah.
Pointing the gun at, I'm assuming, the victim.
But I will say this. That's a short stick for a rookie, dude.
Yeah,
field training.
We also don't know what stage of field training he was in. Imagine if that was like week 2.
Fucking week 2. Yeah, I was about to say, damn. But it was like, and it says a lot about, and it's literally what we were talking about earlier in the stream about having the time to have experienced officers teach and coach these younger guys on how to handle these calls. So when it's your turn, it wasn't your first rodeo and you were able to successfully navigate the first time you had to encounter it. He's literally talking, hey, he's going to run. He's going to get out of the car.
Yeah, that was great.
Doing this.
That was
like
great.
He the whole time he was very much in control. Like that.
And
that
then
really,
the rendering aid was also great.
Yeah.
Like that was.
He gets as the pimple popper people say, he gets a -1 for no gloves. But ultimately, like you can't really ask for much more, especially out of it. And in a field training situation, what a great call to have with the crutch of having a field training officer present to help you. Let's be honest, you jump in his little backpack and say, "Hey, Poppy, help me!"
Yeah,
totally a thing. So, old machete guy, I don't feel too bad about.
And get him there until the paramedics arrive. If you go watch the debrief from Phoenix PD, they said he's going to be charged with aggravated assault on a police officer, but I haven't seen any charges, and I haven't seen this guy actually named in any resources whatsoever, which leads me to think that they might not have charged him at all, though I am not positive of that. At any rate, no officer or member of the community was harmed, and this guy did live. Let's think about lessons. Oh, so close.
Yeah, we don't need to hear his breakdown, but.
Cool. John Correa, shout out to Active Self-Protection. They do a pretty good job of breaking some of that stuff down.
Yeah, just not on our channel. They have their own.
I'm with you.
We let Juan down here.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
I get to do it before he does.
That's right.
Richard.
Also,
your comments too much.
Juan, I want you to remember that question that you asked about LAPD and ask Chris on Tuesday because I want Chris's I want Chris's point of view on that. Yeah. Or you can type it in the chat if you want to.
Well, but then we won't get it on the video.
No, I'm just saying, like, just so we remember, and maybe Chris will remember.
Oh yeah, I'll write it down for myself.
But Chris is old, so he probably won't remember.
Shout out to does this look like Intergraph to you?
It's 100% Intergraph.
Also, shout out to this distribution of this. Pretty sure it's a felony. Fucking idiots. At least blur this out.
This is Code Blue Cam. How dare you?
Code Blue Cam.
Also, that's not
the sexiest intro ever.
That's not personal information. So.
Oh, you're right.
Is Chris a mod?
I made him a mod so that he could
Hell
drop the link,
yeah.
and he didn't drop the link, but yeah, he's a mod.
Then he didn't drop the link.
He dropped it in Discord.
Boomer.
See what happens when you leave the stream early, Sean? Chris becomes the first mod.
That's right.
Just
Damn.
like
you gotta
wow.
Damn.
Dude, one straight savage. He's ruthless today, dude. He's on that Genghis
On November
level
I'm
of ruthlessness. Keep going.
23rd, 2000.
Nope, this was November 24th. Axon said so right there.
Yeah. Oh,
Shout out.
maybe he's giving a prequel here.
Shout out Axon.
Yeah.
2021. An officer was dispatched to a Quick Trip convenience store in Cumberland, Wisconsin.
Whoa, that's not how you spell
Quick Trip called about an intoxicated male parked at the gas pumps offering shots of alcohol to other customers.
What's wrong with that?
The male was identified as 18-year-old Ruben Juarez.
Then there's that.
Upon arrival, the officer recognized Ruben's vehicle from a welfare check earlier in the day.
Hey!
Blank.
How are you? Good. Do you have your driver's license with you?
Yeah, why are you stopping me?
Because you were offering
Open
people
container.
shots. What was it?
It's not illegal.
You weren't? Your license plates don't match your car.
Yeah, they're for my drag. I'm getting them switched tomorrow.
You're getting them switched
There's
tomorrow?
all PC you
I'm
need.
getting switched on this car.
I said your license plates don't match your car.
Yeah, they're for my Jaguar.
Yeah, why are they on this car?
Because I can get around.
Okay. Do you have your driver's license?
I'm not
She actually articulated PC. Yeah,
I'm
there
not
it
a
is.
professional, but I think you have enough to detain him on DWI from here.
Oh, 100%. Like, I don't know, you smell drunk and you're in a car, like, at the very minimum, have PI. Yeah.
I can see his eyes are watering from here. He's hammered.
Yeah, dude. I can smell the alcohol.
Hey, my eyes
The
are
officer
watering,
noticed
I'm
an
just
odor
tired.
of intoxicants coming from his person, glassy eyes, and a case of twisted tea on the floorboard.
Even more.
Oh, there you
Have
go.
you been drinking
That'll
today?
do it.
Container.
That'll
No?
do it.
You haven't had any of those twisted teas?
Might as well have been like, here, hold my beer while I get my ID.
Hold my
672
beer
Baron.
while I
I'm
get
out with Ruben from that welfare check.
I'm out with Ruben.
Your friend called worried about you too.
I feel like how their Quick Trip is with a K.
Were you making
Yeah, it's
some
weird.
suicidal statements
That's so
earlier?
weird.
Wisconsin is weird, dude.
I'm trying.
You're trying?
The whole state has
Yeah.
fewer people than DFW.
I have 3 different licenses because I have my permit, and then I got my driver license, and then this might be the right one. What was that one thing? I didn't read that one
Is
before.
that a vertical license?
These are the same.
They're not the same.
Hard to tell.
I got my.
Do we still have those for like, what was it, under 25?
I'll give you one
Under
of these
21.
back.
121.
Under 21, okay, yeah.
Yeah. I know we're in our 30s.
Okay, I'm
It's been a
gonna
minute,
return
but
the
yeah.
car.
I know, yeah. I just
What?
remember that I had to switch it out at 25.
Your
Then again,
headlights are on.
30.
You shut those off too. And hand me the keys.
For why?
Because the vehicle,
safety.
the plates don't match the vehicle. The vehicle hasn't been registered
Don't
since
run.
2019. Why are
Don't
you driving
run.
it? You said you have a Jaguar.
I do have a Jaguar
Well, why aren't you driving that?
because there's no brakes.
Then you probably shouldn't be driving.
Dispatch then advised Ruben's driver's license was suspended.
You don't have a driver's license.
That also, yeah.
What do you mean I don't have a driver's license? I just showed you my driver's license.
She just told me it's
Do you have the
suspended.
keys yet?
It's not
Let's not get
suspended.
No,
argumentative.
she doesn't.
I
It's
got
still
pulled
running.
over not too long ago.
Let's
She
get
just
the
told me it's
keys.
suspended.
I got pulled over in
Let's not
my
get
mom's
argumentative.
Jeep, and you know what he told me? If I didn't have my license, I would have gotten pulled over for not having a license.
Oh, okay, well, she just told me it's suspended. I can't look it up right now. I don't have my computer.
Definitely, because I just got my license literally 3
Yes,
months
the
ago.
dispatcher's
Okay.
lying.
It could not have been
100%.
suspended.
Hand me the keys.
No,
Yes.
no. You guys will catch me fucking dead before you guys get my license.
Okay.
You don't have a license.
It was an outcry statement.
Then you guys will catch me dead.
Well, did you hear the beginning? They already had a welfare on him for a suicide attempt, so
catch me dead.
Okay, Ruben, you need to get out of the car.
No, because you guys gave me. You guys, how can
doesn't seem like it.
A different county
I might ask for one to hurry up.
Yeah, I feel like I'd have been like, hey, give me two maybe code. Like it's about to be a fight with a suicidal guy.
And one of them park in front of this car.
When I have not been doing anything different.
Have you missed any court?
I have not missed court. That's the thing.
Do you have any tickets that you did not pay?
No.
So this is the first call I've legitimately seen where there's a good de-escalation argument that's not being done. So you have a guy doing outcry
she's not good at talking.
Yeah, he's already said he's suicidal. You're already doing a welfare check. He's already clearly intoxicated. He's already clear. You shouldn't be bringing up any of this shit about the DWI. But let's say, okay, I have someone's potentially suicidal. Let's just make the scene safe, and then I can do all the fucking investigating I can do. If the worst case scenario is he runs from me or fights me, that's what I work out for, right?
Yeah.
Or fortunately, I'm like fit for duty or whatever it is. But as long as he's still in a car, he's still very much a threat to me. He's a threat to the public. You don't need to be doing anything to antagonize this person. I don't care how much of an asshole he's being. Just sit there and say, hey, this makes me nervous. I just want this to be safe. If I'm feeling safe, I want you to feel safe. Just go ahead and give me the keys to the car. If he stonewalls me here, start asking for a back and de-escalate. De-escalating isn't your fucking ID's not valid and da-da-da-da-da and oh yeah, I know.
Have you missed a court date?
Yeah, like none of this. This is this is a picture perfect example of when de-escalation should occur. And it doesn't mean don't do the investigation. Let's make it safe, because if he decides to go have an acute mental episode, let's at least have that not at the business end of a vehicle. Think, boys and girls.
And you know what the problem is with officers like this? They never get any better.
Nope.
They never learn how to talk to people.
Yep.
They insist their authority and they live on that, and that's how it goes every single time.
Yep.
We worked with one.
Yep.
4 days a week.
Escalating the situation.
That's all they do.
Making it worse. Because he's just getting angrier and angrier now.
Oh, well, I'm not trying to put you in jail. I don't want to put anybody in jail.
Okay, but you guys are my license is suspended when I just got pulled over maybe 2 weeks ago.
Okay, well, you need to give me the keys because the car's getting towed.
Why?
Great de-escalation.
That's really going to make him want to hand you the keys.
You shouldn't be driving it.
I know, but I have to get to my job back and forth.
Lie to him if you have to. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so you shouldn't be driving it right now. I know it sucks, but you got to follow the rules like everybody else.
I'm not going to. Because I know if you're driving, since you guys say I don't have a license, so that's already, I'm driving without a license. I didn't get my stuff suspended. So if you guys are telling me right now, if I'm driving without a license, without no registration, without the right plates, without any insurance, I'm going back. I am not going back.
You think that you're...
Oh no, I know for a fact. There's no way you go without anywhere. There's no way.
There's no way that you're not going to jail?
No, there wouldn't be. If I don't have, if you guys said I don't have a license.
He's not wrong.
That doesn't
you can lie to
mean
de-escalate.
Yeah. Well, it's too far now.
Okay, if you're not driving while intoxicated tonight...
I'm not, but it doesn't matter. Because you guys said I don't have a license.
Can I speak? If you're not driving while intoxicated tonight,
and
your probation agent doesn't put a hold on you, I'm not taking you to jail.
I didn't tell her I have this car.
What?
That's the thing. I didn't tell her I have this
car. Your probation, I shouldn't say your probation agent. It's going to be Madison. So they're going to decide if they want to put a hold on you for driving without a valid driver's license. Well, with this COVID stuff, they're being a little more picky. Okay?
That's true.
I don't want to risk it. Like I'm in college.
So what are you going to do instead?
I will run if I have to.
You're going to run?
I have to, for sure. Because I'm already in college. I'm getting a job.
Do we have a backup en route yet?
Okay.
I haven't heard the radio for
But think about this. Let's think about this. If you run, you're not going to college anymore.
I'm intoxicated, of course. You already know.
Okay.
You say, why is this team? There's no way I'm
okay.
There's no way I'm not going to prison for years.
You're not
He's
going to
clearly
go.
in a headspace for logical arguments.
What are you on probation for?
False imprisonment. I'm not going to jail for years.
Or he kidnapped somebody. Hell yeah.
I already told my probation officer. What
Have you gotten in any trouble before?
No. I'm on a felony bail right now.
You're out on felony bail.
Yes. For my
do we have a back in on?
And you guys say I don't have a license.
You're not.
Right now.
Are you on body?
Also, if she ran him, that should have come up.
She should have gotten that already.
And why is there not a backup officer there?
On right now, or just on probation?
I'm on probation. I'm on.
So that doesn't mean that you're gonna get revoked.
Now you're de-escalating, Puta.
I worked in they're going to a burglary.
Oh, they're going to burglary? You act like that's...
What up, homie? I'm shouting out to the chat.
I worked in the jail for 7 years.
I do not
I
care.
can tell.
I know how probation works. They're not going to revoke you for driving without a license.
Oh, yeah. So, okay.
Who is your probation agent?
Well, then it doesn't matter. Okay, if I don't get my shit, canceled off for, drink around driving, okay.
So we have a back
you know what e-fence is?
Yeah.
Okay. I got arrested twice in there for 2 underage drinking. You think the judge can let me off during this late into my... How is my license suspended?
I can't tell you until I look on my computer.
Yeah. Ruben told the officer he could not go to prison, and he would wrap his car around a tree or drive into the lake before that happened. He then said if the officer touches her radio, he was going to take off.
I'm not getting off that. There is not one chance.
I don't know why you think that.
Oh, you know why I think that? False imprisonment, you know how much that is?
Yeah, I've been doing this for 10 years.
Keep your hand off your gun, man.
That's not my gun.
10 whole years of this.
No, okay, a taser is
But
still...
you do need to give me your keys.
I can't.
Give me your keys.
I can't.
Give me your keys.
Why are you
Do not.
I will fucking crash and kill myself. So keep fucking playing. If you want to talk, we can talk.
Give me your keys.
If you want to talk, we can talk. Otherwise, I'm crashing and kill myself. That is your one chance.
Perfectly legal.
If you talk on that radio, I'm gone. This is your one chance to get me in handcuffs. This is your one chance.
I don't even want to put you in handcuffs.
Okay, then get your hand off your radio. See where we're at?
Can you roll your window back down?
Now he's negotiating what she can and cannot do. Great officer presence.
I know how you guys
Great control.
Stop trying
you
to
get an
fucking lie to me
A++.
like I'm stupid.
Also, pause it. Just know that I'm rooting for the tree getting wrapped around. I know that's shitty and sounds shitty, but I have zero sympathy. False imprisonment's kind of a shitty charge.
I have sympathy for the tree, though. Tree didn't do it.
Oh, what about the lake? Can we do the lake?
I don't think we can do the lake.
Oh, you know what? Even
the fishes
better?
Can get out of the way.
No. The sign that the city pays all this money for so that they can get revoted into office, that sign is what I wanted to wrap the car around. I know I'm shitty.
I want the sign that says Congressman whoever's office this way. That's the sign I want him to do.
Chris, we are still talking because she is doing the best job at escalating the situation and doesn't think that she needs a backup to go hands-on with a person that's clearly DWI / all these other things. That's why we're still talking, because she doesn't know how to do anything else, because she was a high-speed, low-drag jailer for 7 years and is clearly the best officer.
High-speed, low-drag jailer.
Dude, we'll keep going.
Where to park, Ruben immediately put his vehicle in drive and left at a high rate of speed.
No.
323. Can you park behind him? He is threatening to
flee. Threatening to flee? Oh, there he goes. Let's see how she handles this.
He drove recklessly for half a mile, narrowly missing 2 trees and an electricity pole.
He tried.
He reached speeds of 70 miles per hour, veered into the opposite lane, intentionally hitting the curb,
I was gonna say
and launching his vehicle into the lake.
That sucks too, because it's November in Wisconsin.
He told me he was gonna.
Ugh.
He told me if he fled, he was gonna try to kill himself.
You're just now telling them that?
Ruben!
You're doing a great job of recovering this person that you edged into suicidality.
Ruben!
Good job. Oh, he's not even in the lake.
It's hardly in the lake.
He told me, he's like, you say anything on that radio and I'm leaving. So then I went to tell you to go behind him because he told me he was going to leave. And
it was crazy you didn't notify
as soon as I
anybody.
touched my radio,
Ruben refused to comply with any commands and stated he had a gun.
Well, Ruben!
Get your hands up! Put your hands up!
Pause it real quick. Is this a Glock 43?
You tell us.
It's gotta be distorted. So the back base plate, just so y'all can know, the base plate back here on Glocks, that looks kind of skinny. That might be a Glock.
No, yeah, that's lens distortion on that end.
I'm hoping it's lens distortion.
And the corner there, that's lens distortion.
Okay,
they can tell also from her arm.
Okay. Also, way to have a two-tone Glock to be cool, but like not have any skills on de-escalation. I'm really mad at this.
Put your hands up! Ruben, put your hands up!
Where is her body cam on her?
I think it's
under her jacket, probably.
Okay, because it's like she's like this.
I think her jacket is.
Put your hands up in the air.
Why don't you
Put
have
them
them
on the back of your head now. Put them on the back of your head.
What's gonna help me?
Put your hands on the back of your head. Put them on the back of your head. Listen to what I'm telling you. Hands on the back of your head.
Shoot me then.
Oh my gosh.
On the back of your head.
Shoot me then.
Put your hands on the back of your head.
Ruben is no mas.
Put your hands on the back of your head. Put your hands up.
I'm gonna grab this is like the worst body camera position ever. You can't see anything that's happening.
We got time anyways, because it's gonna take a little bit more. We got time here. Let me try and renegotiate.
Let me renegotiate.
After nearly an hour of negotiation, they finally convinced Ruben, and he was assisted to shore by the Cumberland Fire Department.
So wait to handcuff him.
Pause it. Look at all of these other first responders having to unfuck a situation that she fucked up.
She didn't even finish the negotiation. Someone else had to come do it.
Like, you remember how you were talking about the first cop that didn't do anything that made possibly all the other cops that didn't do it? This is an argument against that. She totally screwed the pooch and they went over here and cleaned up her mess. She had to have fire help her do her job. Embarrassing.
No, we're gonna get you. We're gonna put you in the ambulance.
We gotta get warmed up.
Are we not handcuffing
3
this
hours
guy?
after the initial contact with Ruben, he provided a breath sample
No, man,
of
he feels real bad,
0.13.
We gotta comfort him. Put a blanket over him. Give him a little.
Damn. He was at 0.13 3 hours after her initial contact with him.
Oh my god.
He was hammered.
So they don't think they had enough for DWI? Okay, no, pause it. But really, why does he have a shotgun in his hand? Actually, legit question. I'm Team Ruben for the first time in this entire video.
Coyotes out there, guys.
You feel like it's safe enough to not handcuff this guy? Jesus, dude. What is going on here?
Ruben was charged with felony
especially after he told them he had
operating
a gun.
while intoxicated, first offense, probation violation, operating while suspended, and open intoxicants in a vehicle. He was sentenced to 3 years probation with conditions of maintaining absolute sobriety, no possession, consumption of alcohol, and not entering any premises where alcohol is
That
sold.
probation worked really well that last time.
He received 8 months of driver's license revocation and 12 months with an ignition interlock device. He must also complete all evaluations, counseling, treatment, and follow-up ordered by the probation officer.
Let go of your hands and stop resisting.
Yeah, stop resisting.
You're gonna get yourself in trouble.
Oh, it's a different video.
They're
I was like, wow.
They're shouting out their
Yeah, they keep the
Patreon.
underwear videos for Patreon.
Wow. So,
yeah,
dude, that's a big L.
That was
That's
That was
arguably a very close second place to the biggest L that we've seen on this stream. It's close. And that's how much it annoyed me on how that went down. Because you know what? I'm a 10-year veteran of the police department.
Yeah.
You should just listen to me. I can't stand
He's definitely never going to do that again.
Yeah. There's the thin blue line, boys and girls. Be proud.
He learned his lesson, man.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Although I will say, if I had to spend 3 hours in a freaking freezing lake, I'd learn my lesson.
Probably. Chris. Yes, we are dumber for watching this.
Yeah.
So basically, he wasn't
take a look
punished.
at a crazy shooting out of
Par for the
Baltimore. Now, I know we've seen some pretty fucky-wucky crossfire here on the channel recently, but this might be the fuckiest-wuckiest of all. Here, YouTube manual reviewer, you beautiful, beautiful bastard. This is a violent law enforcement encounter, but it is in words or hard in an educational manner. This is a breakdown by a former police officer. Thank you. Because the 100%. YouTube manual reviewer is a great way to invest in something that's never going to. You might want to check out their website by clicking.
You don't get a free ad here.
On June 4th at around 9 p.m., officers with the Baltimore County Police Department responded to a report of unknown trouble at an apartment complex. I haven't ever really heard the term unknown trouble, but it sounds like someone just called the police and said that a certain apartment was causing a big old ruckus, and that ruckus was gunfire.
Did you guys hear any screaming? Uh-oh. Open the door, please.
The officers put their thinking caps on and said, you know, it's probably that apartment that we got the call about that gunfire's coming from. 5 or so officers head up to the 11th floor. Some have patrol rifles and some have their service pistols out. First thing that I want to point out is that Baltimore County police officers can grow beards, and that's pretty rad. They figure out where they think the shots might be coming from, and they can't exactly go kicking in doors at this point, so they go to the apartment that was initially reported. Pretty solid tactics here, not standing in front of the door. You never want to stand in front of the door no matter what the call is as a police officer. Did grandma get on the stump whiskey for a couple of days and punch the neighbor? Don't stand in front of the door. Willie the crackhead is seeing ghosts in his attic again? Maybe. And there's a guy inside with a gun maybe? Definitely don't stand in front of the damn door. Myself personally, force of habit won't let me stand in front of a door and knock on it. I had to drop John off at a friend's house the other day. And of course I'm doing this on the door. There. When you knock on a door, you're revealing your exact location, and the guy on the other side of the door can just start popping off.
Get away from the door!
It's happened to officers dozens of times. Back to the video.
Where's your hands? Hands.
That's not good at all. Guy straight up came out shooting, and there wasn't much time to react whatsoever. He came out and did one of these.
Anyway, I started blasting. Bang! Bang!
He gets off a round or two at our primary officer, who retreats after being shot.
Where's your hands? Hands. I'm hit.
Is that guy that he's like, of all the cops in this damn hallway, you had to fucking pick me, like, oh, he looks like a prick, and shoot him. Like,
down.
Let's take a look at the officer's body camera, who is just behind the officer who was struck by gunfire.
Well, he's
as soon
the
as
least
the suspect
awkward to
opens
shoot at,
fire,
I feel
this
like.
officer sends him right back at him, narrowly missing the first officer's head. When I say there's crossfire here, I'm not really saying it in a negative manner. Like, what are they supposed to do but try to protect themselves while minimizing friendly fire as much as possible? It was just a shitty situation all around. Next, let's look at the officers who were on the opposite side of the doorway. Both of these officers had their patrol rifles out. The officer who we're looking at right now is the one closest to the door on the opposite side. As soon as the guy opens fire, this officer gets a shot off with his rifle.
Hands off.
Oh, he folded that guy, though.
See him drop his mag?
Before this officer gets a shot off,
Out
it
of the
looks like
rifle?
the suspect is already collapsing onto the ground.
One round. One pump chump.
Oh, there it went.
Yep.
I'm not really sure which officer pushed that guy's off button. To add even more pucker factor to the mix, the officer providing cover at the end of the hall discharged his weapon towards the 4 officers in the hallway.
That's a write-up. Jesus
That's pretty bad, dude.
In the end, the suspect didn't make it. The officer who was shot was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, and they found a woman inside of the apartment with gunshot wounds who remains in critical condition. Let me know what you think about this shooting in the comments below.
It's I can't make that much fun of him, but Jesus, dude. He's literally walking up with a flashlight with extra steps.
Oh, we already watched this.
I'm glad that guy was okay. And I'm glad the other guy wasn't. That's what he gets for being a dick.
Yeah.
What's up?
He assaulted me. He trespassed on my property.
I know we already watched it, but I want to play the YouTube video because it's got a little more to it.
Okay, where's the knife?
I can't give you that.
Okay, I need you to take it out of your pocket and give it to me right now.
Do that.
Sir, I need you to take the knife out of your pocket.
It's not property.
Sir, I need you to take the knife out of your pocket. Get no!
Shots fired, 0834.
Well, clean her pants off, dude. Jeez. That's a legit knife.
Yeah.
I need everyone to back up.
This is the guy he attacked before. All right.
Get out of here, dude.
Yeah, bro. Get the fuck out of here.
Aaron.
Oh, what an
you
annoying
need to
tone.
get the knife away from so I can get him.
Hey, you got hands, girl?
That was an ice cream truck.
Bro, someone saved the shit out of her life.
Be Josh Gloves. That's all I'm saying.
Shout out.
Okay, I need you to get the bag out of my passenger side
Needs to
seat.
practice
Put the
putting
bag
them
out
on,
of the passenger side seat.
Did he just badger? Is that like an off-duty cop?
I think so, maybe.
Yeah, we just called for ambulance. You can give him another call.
Yes, please.
Call a bar or Swain. I got that.
Hey, let's
Somebody's shirt. Can somebody give me their shirt, please?
Are we not securing this guy? Jesus.
Nah.
Hey, let's secure the guy in case he gets his second wind here and decides to kill you.
Sir.
Don't
took
do
the
chest
knife.
compression. Yeah, I don't know. You haven't searched him though?
Not breathing.
Yeah. Probably not good to do chest compressions on somebody with holes in them.
Please don't do that.
That'd be kind of bad.
Yes,
Somebody needs to help this girl, please.
Yeah,
And I'm not
no
mad at her
kidding.
because she almost got killed, but like, I'm mad that there's a bunch of dudes standing around not doing anything. Like, no one's
Impressed that
helping.
she's even doing this.
Help her, please.
Bystander effect.
But there's someone doing something, you know? Like,
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, like all these other guys, I do bystander effect right there. They're like, well, somebody's doing something. It's not my responsibility.
How many times you hit him? 2 times to the chest.
Come on, man. Hang in.
2 times.
People trained, man.
EMS is on the way.
Alec, you're the worst.
Yeah.
You make it to why I can't read the chat.
Ryan, come here first. Okay.
All right. Well, he died. So
Well, yeah, he got unalive pretty quickly there.
it is what it is.
Shout out to the guy that saved a fellow officer's life there, as opposed to cranking a round off down the hallway, with the hope and a prayer to not shoot another officer. Jeez.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, man. I honestly didn't even see a lot of pre-attack cues off that guy. To be honest, it was
Not
weird.
really.
He was just kind of chilling. Now, the first problem is when I can't do that. That's problem number one. But I mean, like, it happened so quickly. I can't really fault her too much for that. But hey, shout out. Now, I will say this: she's very fortunate that because she fell down. I don't know, man. Got to be ready for that shit. People think we're like sociopaths when we say I'm prepared to kill everybody I interact with while I'm on duty. I was like, that's why. Because assholes do random. That's like the third cop in the stream that has randomly been ambushed with a knife. Like, I don't know, man. What did he say? Probably something dirty. Getting redacted. Especially if Chris eliminate. Like, I'm gonna act like Chris is just not at him.
Chris,
yeah. I know. I'm giving you a
No,
hard
that
time.
was retracted, not deleted.
What did he say?
And no, I don't think Chris was saying that Crossfire was good. I think he's just saying it's a good video, like a good.
Oh yeah.
I think it was past the
breakdown.
Crossfire video when he said that.
Oh no, Chris was
We were
saying
already in the
that's how
knife
we do
video.
it. That's how we do it. Where he comes from about Crossfire.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So
Fire
shout
into the
out.
hallway over in LA.
Do we have anything else?
Nope.
So I want to thank Sean was here earlier. I want to thank him for joining us when he did. I want to thank producer Juan for stepping up and tirelessly giving up his time,
literally,
to make time
Quite literally,
for
yeah.
his stream.
Tirelessly.
Want to thank Bill for tirelessly curating this content and making sure that we have stuff to go. We got a good, what are we at? 2 hours worth of a stream. So this is a lot of breakdown. You guys can see all the rants and stuff like that. If you guys like seeing this content, please like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm. And go ahead and turn on the bell notifications because we go live twice a week on Tuesdays and on Thursdays on Tactical Tuesdays. we have Chris, who has rejoined us, and we're having a blast actually on this newest Ready or Not update. If you're watching this after the fact, we also, again, go live every Thursday. So if you want to see this live and drop comments that we sometimes respond to when they're appropriate, you guys can go ahead and do that. And if you really, really love us, you can join our Patreon group, which is as little as $1 a month. That gives you access to our Discord. This is how we get most of this content. Is our Patreon subscribers will send us videos on Discord or DM us random stuff or have random questions. You can also follow us on Instagram and on TikTok. We have skits and things of that nature on there, and then we also have merch that is on there that I think none of the three of us here currently are wearing. So go check it out. There's a lot of cool stuff on there. You can go check out all of that stuff. Maybe I will find a job and I'll join the shout out, Alfredo, my guy. So anyways, did I miss anything? I don't think I did.
Nope.
Join Patreon, buy merch.
Yeah, with all of that being said, since I have my DSLR back.
Get it. There
I'm going to go ahead and do...
There it is. It's my favorite.
A deep dive here. We're going to get some ASMR going on here. I want to thank all of you for joining us.
Oh, damn.
We will see you guys next time. Thank you for writing 2-man with us. Peace.
2-man.
2-man. Yeah, 2-man.
Josh is